I think it's rock solid.
It's Minecraft Rock. Minecraft Dwayne? I don't know.
Are you fishing for a joke here, or do you
No,
know?
I found this image and I like the look of it.
This image got posted by Twitch when The Rock said that he was bringing a video game to the movies, like the best, most badass video game he's ever played.
Real quick, what video game is he going to make into a movie? Just, I don't want any more than surface level thoughts. Quick, Josh.
One of the old World WWF 1997.
Okay, Steve.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Nice, Sam.
Like Gears of War.
Oh, damn it! I was gonna say Gears of War.
Gears of War's a good one.
We've had this
Final Fantasy
before, so...
video game.
How have we had this discussion before?
We had it in Sam Discord. Said Gears of War. Yes, I think we have actually talked about this before.
I remember speaking to Stewie about Army of Two and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's right. It's
Army
when
of
we were in
Two.
our Vampire Survivors midstream, so I wasn't really paying attention to anything anyone was saying.
Welcome to the stream, everybody. It's another week. We're here back again to talk about what we've been playing all week, and to talk about more NFT stories and news.
Fuck.
There's always more. No, any interesting news that we found throughout the week, we'll give it a look, give it a chat, see what we think. I'm here as myself, BottlerWorks, also known as Josh, with Olive Meister, Will.
Hello, I ate nothing but jelly beans this weekend, and my stomach feels like a science experiment.
Steve, Quikwix.
Hi, I'm Steve, and I'm here.
And Sammeh.
Hi, I've played more Dying Light 2 than I have slept in the past 3 days.
That's really healthy. Let's kick it off, because I'm going to go straight into that, because you've played so much Dying Light. I've come on Discord and been like, what's everyone doing? And it's just the three of you on Discord all day since it's come out playing Dying Light 2.
Yeah, but by the three of you, you mean me and my two Chris friends.
Not me, I have not touched it.
Yeah.
Your two actual friends.
Yeah. Actual friends.
Do we want to talk about that Sam ditched me on Friday? And
you need to let that go.
I don't want to be friends anymore.
Please don't derail the podcast 2 minutes in. No, how's Dying Light 2?
Yes, Sam. How's Dying Light, I guess?
So, this game, right? I'm still playing it, because I'm playing it multiplayer, so it was always going to be fun, right? As long as it wasn't goddamn awful, I was going to enjoy my time with it.
Mm-hmm.
But this game, embodies the word, frustration.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. That's not what I was expecting.
Because the parkour in this game, which is what the game's, it's, most defining feature, Dying Light 1's parkour was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. This one is it can't decide. Because you've got so many different parkour moves you can do, it tries to do them all at once. So you're vaulting over something that you can either grab onto, roll over, or jump off, and it is literally a 33% chance it will just pick one and do it, and you have no control.
Oh. Is it like old Assassin's Creeds where you would aim for an alleyway, miss by a couple of inches, and your guy would run up the building onto the roof before you'd even had a chance
the amount of times I've run at a wall and I'm looking at the wall, and then immediately I'm wall running, I'm going along it, and I'm like, no, I want to go up. And you jump at a ledge, and your guy does that thing where it's he's jumped up against a wall, so puts his hands up against it and then bounces off to protect himself, and you're just there his hands are above the ledge, the ledge is at the bottom of my screen, and he's
raising his hands.
Can't grab that, I've got to bounce off this wall, and it's oh.
That's interesting, because all of the I looked at a couple of reviews, and most of them seem to say story's alright, zombies are alright, it's a little bit buggy, but the parkour is really fun. So is it not as good as I've been led to believe?
It's not that the parkour isn't fun, it's just frustrating, because we were doing there's challenges where it's get travel across the rooftops, hit these 5 checkpoints in under a minute and a half.
I was watching some of these. Yeah, I think I was in the group.
Like, you would run along a rooftop, jump off a rooftop over to the other one, and then I've got one Chris who's got one skill that lets him jump further, and he just clears it. I've got another one that's got more stamina because you upgrade your health and stamina independently in that game. And so he can just keep running for longer. So he was able to do like a bigger run up. And then there's me, who I'm like, I'm gonna fall short, but I'll at least like grab the wall or grab the ledge. No, I just go straight to the floor, mate. I don't even make it anywhere near. And I'm like, and it happens consistently. That's the issue. So I'm like, right, if it's happening over and over, that means there's something with me, right? I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it, but it's like you were describing it. These two people I'm with are having a great time, but I can't do it.
I did not say they were having a great time.
Oh, they also don't like it.
They're having their own issues.
That's where it kicks off, because I'm like, oh, so it's just me. And then both of them go, oh no, that happens to me all the time. I'm getting aggravated with it. They're just kind of like, oh, okay, I failed, I'll get up there. And I'm like, no, it's the 3rd or 4th time, that's it. It starts getting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's like, as we got further into the game, it starts getting better because you start getting more tools. So we've got like paragliders, and we're going to get a grappling hook soon. So we've been parkouring less, and the game is getting so much more fun.
That's such a shame, because it's like, all I know about Dying Light 1 is it's like, that's a zombie open world game, but the parkour is really good. And to hear about the sequel, does the parkour worse than the first game?
Oh, absolutely worse.
Is it
bugs? It's a hot buggy mess.
Okay.
Not an hour goes by where sometimes we just have to completely quit out and reload the game because we got into a chat with someone, and you can't leave talks. The only way to leave talking to someone is to finish the dialogue.
Right.
But it just didn't give us a dialogue option. So we were just there.
I've been in talks with people that feel like that, where I wanna hit the okay, catch you later option, and I literally can't.
You can just walk away.
And,
in real life.
No, I'm bugged, Josh. I'm bugged.
Yeah, there's been some like hard game breaking bugs where it's like we physically have to reload here. We can't do anything.
Well,
There's
hard
been some
soft
annoying bugs.
locks. So.
Well, yeah, like we're literally stuck in a dialogue, or we had a quest which was like we had to, press F to talk to this guy, and the button literally just wasn't there, and he was in the way, so we literally couldn't go forward,
please
but we couldn't
move
go back because the door was locked. So we had to reload again, and that's happened a couple of times each day.
What is the fun part of this game for you so far?
The combat is great.
Is it still the first person?
When it works, yes, it's still first person,
like hack and slash almost.
Yeah. When like the parkour is simple and you're literally just like, there's no crazy stuff. You're just jumping from a rooftop to a rooftop and stuff like that, and being chased by zombies. Fantastic! It's great because you know that if you stop, you are dead. So you gets that adrenaline pumping. Yeah. But when you're just messing around, it feels like the parkour's more in the way.
That's a shame, because it really shouldn't. Yeah, it shouldn't be. It's like, on paper, the combination of zombie apocalypse with fast runners and then parkour, it's a slam dunk on paper. Yeah. And then,
also,
but just like no one does it apart from this game. I think it's just
the story's alright. The story's not terrible. But they really put like, oh, your choices matter in this game, and I'm in someone else's world, so they make their decisions because it's their world, right?
You're just going along with it.
They have fully given one faction the middle finger, right? Every opportunity to go against them, to blow up their stuff, taken. And now in the main story, we're just buddy with their whole leadership and everything, and it's like and we've literally taken over the entire map and given it to their rivals. Maybe
they don't have a choice at this point.
We've got to pretend.
Wow,
We're about to die.
Again, that's the thing. Without being too spoilery, it's like oh well, you've given all this land and area to their rivals, but it doesn't matter because it hasn't strengthened them or weakened them.
Yeah, it's all like
It's not
surface
impacted
level.
anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Is
one
it-
of the big things that was being pushed was like, oh, your decisions matter.
Is
Yeah,
it? Al-
absolutely.
that was in all the marketing. Yeah, yeah.
Is it
As in
almost
all
as
the
if
trailers.
it's almost kind of that way because they don't expect someone to middle finger an entire
That's-
faction, so they're
Yeah,
like,
'cause I know. Yeah, because I know the people you're playing with, and they are one min maxers and
Yes,
two
yeah.
hell bent on breaking the game's.
No, it's the choices in the game that made us give them the middle finger. It's not them, like
They're not intentionally.
they've not how
teasing
somehow artificially
right, okay,
fucked them.
Okay.
It's literally like, oh, you've got a mission to go bomb those guys or something like that, something crazy like that, right? And they're like, well, yeah, we're going to do it. Let's do it. So yeah, that's their personality kicking in. But again, it's the game that's being
It's
like, well,
within the
you can
bounds.
just mess those guys up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then later on you find out you have done nothing. It doesn't affect them in the slightest.
so it's just lying marketing then.
Every game
I mean,
does
I
that.
don't know.
though.
Every
As
yeah,
far as I can
lying
tell.
is so strong a word for what game marketing companies.
I don't know.
do
It's
at
just
this
it always
point.
just feels like, a company being like, your choices matter when they know they don't. So
Well,
it's-
yeah.
and everyone that plays
It's
it is
like-
going to be like,
and-
that was not true.
There was always a big discussion over choice and consequence, right?
Yeah,
If you take an action
Yeah.
and it leads to someone dying, that's not a choice you've made. That's a consequence.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah,
I feel like video games, it's hard to give choice without consequence, right? It's always going to end up having consequences,
yeah.
Hmm.
but it doesn't even really have that.
That's
So-
because that's what I way back when this got announced back in 30 years ago in the 90s or whenever the hell this got.
It was like
announced.
2015
I
or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I remember all of the buzz around it was like, oh, I made this one decision and X happened, but it's all like surface level cosmetic
yeah,
stuff.
the only thing that matters is you get we've given the territory to one group, and because of that, they've put down their like knowledge in the areas they control. So we've got more zip lines, we've got jump pads, right? Which is
Oh.
you could argue like, oh, that is a choice, but that's very like
It's not an interesting
That's
choice.
it, that's
mechanical
it.
player
Yeah.
only choice.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
no story effect whatsoever.
Yeah, it's not what when you say you have choice, that's not what you think about
Yeah,
in your head.
I think of like, oh, I change how the game goes forward. I change the
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah,
you want to get
That's
involved
what I
in
think of.
the story. You want to have an impact on the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
wonder
what's
when
the-
we're actually going to get a game that does that, though.
I was going to
'cause,
say,
like,
what was the
people-
last game you actually remember that had really good choices? I think Witcher
Witcher.
3 had really good choices.
Witcher 2 specifically, I remember there are whole areas you don't go to depending on your choices.
Yeah, I think the
And
last chapter of that game changes
Was,
based on.
Yeah.
Dragon Age is another one, right?
Dragon Age, any BioWare game to a certain extent.
What ending did you
I
get?
can
What
just
color?
remember the games that promised it and you didn't get that. Like Guild Wars
Ignoring
2,
three.
the big thing,
Yeah,
Guild Wars 2, the big thing was like, oh yeah, your choices will affect the world, and it was just like, oh wait, no, it's just cycling in a circle, like, but that's because it's an MMO. So in single player games, they should be doing like impactful choices. We have the
too scared, though.
technology.
I don't
It's like we were saying, because we did a mission and one of our friends was watching, he turns around and goes, it would be really cool if you could no longer fast travel because of what you've just done.
Yeah,
And story-wise, would have made complete sense.
yeah.
yeah.
But I was like, no video game is ever going to take
They're
away
not going to
fast
commit
travel.
to that. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think
Like-
choices. I think choices are just really hard to actually implement
Absolutely.
properly. That's the problem. It's not that they don't want to do it. It's just it's too.
It's like
it branches too much.
in the Tales of games, right?
Yeah,
Like stuff like that. That is where you can do it because they're less game, right, and more just interactive movie.
yeah,
That's a good way to look at it.
yeah.
That's how I describe Final Fantasy 13. Interactive movie.
I always thought the Telltale games as well that had so much talk
sorry,
about.
Telltale games. That's what I meant, not Tales of.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah.
obvious
Because
there.
but there's no consequence there from like a gameplay standpoint. It's just a consequence in the story from a choice that you made in that story.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
That's what I mean.
It's
It
not
still
like
always leads
You
down
don't have
to
access to the
consequence,
shotgun
but-
anymore or something in a Telltale game because.
But
Yeah.
if you play
that was a really poor example.
if you play any Telltale game more than once, it 90% of the time falls apart. Like the illusion gets completely shattered. It's
because
like
you know, like the true path
Yeah,
and how to dodge everything.
it's more to do with like there'll be something like, oh, which character is gonna die? So you pick a character and then you save one, the other one dies.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, I've killed that character, blah blah blah, blah. And you carry on. And if you play through something like that again, you pick the other way around, they do basically the same thing. It's just one's alive and one's dead, and it breaks all choice. And it's
That was
like
original Mass Effect did that. Was
yeah,
you picked a character, one died, one lived, and that was. But that was
Actually,
it. They were they didn't have anything else to say after that. So it was like, what was the point in that?
yeah.
That reminds me of a game that actually does have good choice, which was Man of Medan.
Oh yeah, you
where
played that recently.
Yeah, well, I played that for Halloween actually, and choices you make in that game really do matter. It's mostly like like, there's some choices, but some of it's like Q2Es that you can fail. But, yeah, the outcome of that game can vary. Like it's still got a similar outcome, but characters die. You can really screw yourself over. That game does choices well.
Yeah, I've never played was it Man in Medan?
Man of Medan. There's the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah, I haven't played any of those, but I completely believe you because I played the one before those games on PS4. What's it called?
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. Yeah, and that had really good choices. I completely forgot about it, but now that you mention it, yeah, that had good. Where you do one mistake, and a character died, and it was like, okay, they're just gone now.
Yeah,
But that's similar to a Telltale game. Those games, right? You make story choices.
It is story choices,
story outcomes.
But I think I don't know. It felt to me it was handled better than
right?
yeah. It was handled better than.
But no,
Telltale.
but I think like the thing you were talking about, Sam, was like giving real consequences from a gameplay standpoint. Say removing fast travel zones or something because you blew up a fast travel point for one faction. I think that's interesting. I don't really, I don't. Not many games like attempt that kind of thing.
It's one of those people. Like a game will never take away stuff mechanically, right? Because the game's supposed to be fun.
Well, I think they're just
Playing
they're
is supposed to be
scared
fun,
of
they're
people
scared.
having a bad time and turning it off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like imagine if you were playing I don't know a game like Skyrim or something, and a decision you made early on means you lose your left hand and you can't use shields anymore or something, and you're like that's really cool. But now I can't.
But I'm gonna go ahead and reload. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I think it would be really interesting to play like a really short RPG in RPG terms, so like 5-10 hours or something, but make it so like branching and different.
Yeah.
That you could have a wild
I guess
outcome.
The longer the game is, right, the less impactful you almost need your decisions to be because the game's going to be going for another 30 hours.
Well, it's the argument of having a game last long enough that the choices you make are impactful, but not short enough that you're like, fuck this, I'm going to reload because I'm not playing the game with a leg missing,
or
I can't run.
Or even if the game is short enough that you make a choice and something bad happens, and you're just like, well, whatever. I didn't have attachment to any of these characters or mechanics or anything yet, so it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, because my brain goes to like a roguelike or something. But then if something like that happens in a roguelike, it's like, oh, I don't care. I just start again. So it's a tricky little balance. Interesting though.
Yeah, but that's been my past 3 days. All in all, despite all that, I am enjoying it, but I'm playing it multiplayer, so I think I was going to enjoy it anyway.
It's the extraction thing again, isn't it? It's like, I don't think this is particularly great, but I've got two of my best buds with me, and we're going to have a good time. Yeah. We could do anything and have a good time.
Here's the thing. I could see myself playing extraction solo just to see what it's like, maybe queuing with randoms. I will not pick up Dying Light 2 unless I'm playing it with friends.
You're not going to do a solo playthrough after this?
No, like, if those two just went, we're kind of done, I wouldn't even finish the game.
Damn.
I played...
That's weirdly, like... it's not damning with faint praise. It's like the opposite, you know.
Yeah.
I was just going to throw out there that I played Extraction on my own with randoms, and it was awful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing to add.
We've played
nothing.
a little bit. I don't want to chuck this in as like my go, but we played a little bit. Me and Sam. We played a little bit more Extraction. I think I'm coming to the end of my time with it. I don't think it has that much more. We whacked up the difficulty a bunch and did some of that.
It's
I
actually
don't think.
starting to get hard now. But
Yeah, and it being challenging was making it more interesting. But I also think by that point, I've seen everything the game has to offer. You know, it's like the more enemies and them having more health and stuff. It didn't add enough for me that I think I want to keep going with it. We'll see. I think if Sam said tomorrow you want to play some more Extraction, I think I'd probably take him up on it. Just give it another go.
Well, let's loop that straight into what you've been doing then. So what have you been doing this week?
I haven't really branched out that much. I had a bit of a busy week, but I did play some Hitman 3, and that is an excellent one of those games. And I really hope that this is the end of the Hitman saga. It feels very final, I'll say. I won't spoil anything, but it feels like an ending. And I hope that whoever is making it's IO Interactive, I hope that they go on to make something else because they're clearly extremely talented.
Remasters.
But I just don't think. I think they've done. No. Maybe I'm like not. You know, I'm not imaginative enough. But I feel like this formula is done. They did 3 of these. They're basically the same game.
I was going to say they're all the same, basically, aren't they?
Yeah. Whenever they released, when they released 3, 1 and 2 gets like dumped in with it, so that you can just play all of them back to back if you want. Yeah, Hitman 3, fantastic game. But I really want to see them. I'd even take another Hitman game just in a different setting. You know, make it sci-fi or fantasy or something. I think that would be super interesting because I feel like they're pushing against the boundaries of what you can do in like a modern day setting. Even in this one, there's like drones and some sci-fi stuff, and I feel like they want to go out and make more wacky stuff, and they can't because they're constrained to this Hitman IP. But yeah, fantastic game. I like Hitman. I don't know.
What do they do in your opinion? You say they want to get wacky with it? Do they keep making the same type of game?
Well,
but not tying it to Hitman?
I was playing through it, and we were talking about playing games with friends and stuff. I was like, if they made Hitman but co-op, I think that is an absolute smash hit. Because one thing I don't get in Hitman is you have these. There's not a lot of levels, right? You'll get 5 typically a game, and then maybe some DLC, and then the fun of it is, and you can run through these levels extremely quickly once you know what you're doing. I couldn't get it to work, but when I was streaming it, I was like, I found a way to do this first level in about a minute and a half with. It wasn't a good way to do it. I just shot 2 people in the head.
I was going to say, is that just you run in and you get behind a specific bush and shoot and then just run away?
Yes, it was. It was exactly that.
Stealth.
But the fun of it is going back through each level and being like, oh, you discover this little trick and this secret hideout entrance, whatever, this disguise that can get you close to the guy and stuff like that. And it's like mastering those levels is the fun part. But I always find that I will typically play through the whole campaign, maybe dabble in a couple of levels that I really liked, and then sort of call it. Like once it's shown me all the new fun stuff, I'm like, I don't really need to keep going with it. I don't want to master these levels. I just want to see what else it's got to show me, sort of thing. So I think something that adds a bit more replayability, like if they added co-op, if they did some other maybe modifiers that are like. You couldn't do with a real world setting, but you could do it with like a sci-fi, like different. All the rooms are rearranged, something like that. I don't know. But I don't want that to take away from the Hitman 3 is really enjoyable. The levels in this one are fucking fantastic. There's one that's set in an old manor, like on the English moors, and you get there and it's like, oh, there's been a murder, and you can investigate the murder like an old sort of.
Oh my god, it's like Cluedo.
Room. It is literally like Cluedo, yeah. And you have to figure out who done it, and then I was streaming it and I ran out of time, so we went through this whole rigmarole of finding out who the murderer was, and then the culmination of this intricate plot was me running up behind this woman, shooting her in the head and legging it for the bushes, and that was like an hour-long playthrough that just ended.
I like the idea of it at the end. It's like, me, I am the murderer. I was the murderer all along.
No, essentially, yeah, that's what happened. But oh my god, it's just so much fun. It's such a fun. Hitman 3 is like, you know when you'd get your friends over and you'd be like, I don't want to play something, but I want to watch someone play something. Hitman 3 is like, the whole Hitman series is like the perfect game for that, because, you know, it's so wacky. Shit will go wrong all the time. There were so many moments where, like, I'd be trying to move a body and some guy spotted me and it ended up in this whole murder spree where I'm like, you made me do this, as I'm like gunning down all these people that are trying to stop me.
What?
It's also like you can watch people do like the perfect run as well, like, right?
Yes, yeah.
And you can see it like thought out and planned to a T, and you're like, oh my god.
I've only played a bit of the second one, but I always liked the fact in those games where you can play it as like stealthily and as like hardcore as you want and follow all like the things, and then at least with myself, like the moment you just kind of get a bit bored, you can just flip the switch and start doing really goofy shit and still kind of succeed, as long as you're not being like too crazy. Where it's I'm going to stealth this, stealth that, steal this guy's uniform, do this, and it's like, you know what, I'm just going to smack him with a wrench actually.
Well, that was the last level I played was again, I'm noticing a pattern with how I finish these games. Is we went through this whole elaborate me breaking into this building sneakily, like stealing all the disguises, working my way up, and then right as I was about to like, you know, do my big crescendo and this intricate accident that I orchestrated, someone spotted me moving a body. Someone just walked out of a doorway as I was hiding a body, and I just ended up killing everyone again. And I was like, damn it, I was so close. Everyone in chat was going like, I really wanted to see what was going to happen.
Yeah, he catches you after this long stealth section. You're just like, oh, fine, here we go again. What's that Rick and Morty skit?
Someone's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, fine, as I unholster my auto shotgun. And
here I go killing again.
It was,
Well, it's interesting you talk about like, you wish it had co-op and this, that, and the other, because they have. I think Ubisoft has said now they're working on a new Splinter Cell game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to look at these games to make a new Splinter Cell, right? You can't ignore the fact that when people think of the stealth shooter genre now, Hitman's kind of resurrected itself.
I don't know. I think Hitman is so unique. Because I could see them maybe taking cues from that, giving you bigger levels to work with and like places to break into and stuff. But I think I think Hitman's its own thing. I don't think anyone is doing what they're doing. But I just think it would be so perfect if you could orchestrate all these like wacky schemes with a co-op partner. It would be. I know that Hitman is definitely its own thing now, and now it's like changed and evolved into this big elaborate thing. But I feel like you could, you know, it's 2024 or something. The new Splinter Cell comes out, and you start playing it, and you're like, hang on a minute. Oh yeah, well, I mean, even this image, if you just photoshopped some like green goggles onto his head there, I'd be like, yeah, I'm convinced. Yeah. I don't know, maybe Ubisoft. I think it's just as likely Splinter Cell goes open world.
Oh god,
with towers and enemy bases and stuff.
You got to get gear, and they've all
loot
got
score.
Yeah, you got a gear score. Yeah, you level up, get more skills.
You found purple rarity goggles.
I don't think they will, just because they'd get lynched, wouldn't they? They'd get crucified on the internet if they did that. But then I don't know.
Backstepping slightly, when I was watching Sam play Dying Light 2, and you opened the inventory, and it was all rarity items and gear score and shit, and I was like, I've never been more turned off like instantly than just I'm so over it.
I agree. Games need to stop doing that unless it's like a game specifically where it's designed for.
Yeah, Diablo 4, fine, go nuts.
Yes.
No, but they won't. But they won't because it's what sells and it's what's popular.
You know what?
Is it what sells?
For me... Yeah. Oh yeah, RPG mechanics. Yeah, it's such an easy way to get people to
numbers go up.
Yeah, numbers go up. Numbers go up and I stick around. I think that's the
numbers go up, I go up.
Yeah. That's what one recently that really got me was Halo Infinite has a rarity system for its armor. There's no chance element in Halo Infinite. You just buy the things
so stupid
from the company. So you can. It's like, this is a legendary helmet, and I'm like, why?
Because we said so.
Because I paid more for it. Good for me, I guess.
Blockchain says yes.
We're just gonna become a fucking NFT podcast, aren't we? It's circling the drain already on that one.
What else you played? Or is that your main pickup this week?
So I didn't really play anything else. Vampire Survivors got another update with a bunch of achievements. Did those pretty good. As long as that game keeps adding achievements and content, I will boot it up every sort of week or so just to do them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I saw you playing it, John.
I was going to say if you're
Survivors?
done with your thing, I could jump into mine because I've played a bit of that.
I do have one more thing. But
Go for yours.
Well, it's not really a game, but I have been watching the Critical Role animated series. I don't know if you guys have heard about that.
Never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's Critical Role is D&D campaign run by Matt Mercer, and it features a bunch of voice actors. And
is this it when I bring this image up?
Yes.
Okay,
that's it.
Because I have no clue it's gonna be anything.
I'm honestly shocked you guys don't know anything. You must have heard of Critical Role.
I know of Critical Role. They're a big D&D thing,
Never
right?
watched,
Yes, yeah. So Matt Mercer runs it. Famous voice actor.
McCree.
Bunch of famous voice actors. McCree himself. Yeah.
Oh, he's not
Wait,
called
is
that.
it?
No,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
not McCree anymore. It's what
What is
different
it?
name now.
McCandy.
Because he got
It's like Tom or something.
Tom.
no, he got changed.
Voice
'cause
of
you know,
Overwatch is Tom. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, a bunch of other famous voice actors and actresses feature on it, and
Cole Cassidy.
It's set the internet aflame, and everybody loves Critical Role now. I can't get into it. I just wanted to mention it because I started watching this series because Erin loves Critical Role, and I think I've got the best viewing experience for this show because I couldn't get into the series, so this is all new to me, and this is like a retelling of all the podcasts or
Like the best bits.
all of the actual D&D show up until now. But like smoothed over, so any weird D&D stuff they can just either get rid of or adapt for like a small animated show. And anytime anything weird happens, Erin goes, "Oh, that was like the thing that happened in the thing," and we all have a good laugh, and it's a great time. And it's a really fun show. I don't know if you would enjoy it if you didn't have because I think it's like when I watch something about Star Wars and I go, "Erin, it's a gonk droid," and Erin goes, "Oh yeah, sure, honey," but she's having a good time because I'm having a good time, right? And I think it's a similar kind of experience. But yeah, a really fun show. I'm really enjoying it.
I had the same thing with Laura when it comes to Marvel, where she's very surface Marvel in that she'll only watch like the really, really mainline stuff.
Yeah.
And I know a bunch of like kind of like weird.
Yes,
I know the odd like weird comic book thing. So
Yeah.
something will happen, and I'll be like, "Oh!" and I'll point, and she'll just be like, "You loser! What are you on about?"
But it's a really clever show because it works in like any D&D weirdness, they either like nod to it or they'll get rid of the fun, the not fun, unexpected stuff that happens, and they'll keep in all of the fun, unexpected stuff that happens. So there's like one scene where they literally can't. There's like a rogue character, you can see him there, and he's trying to pick a lock and he can't, and it's like it goes on for ages. He just can't pick it, and he's trying, and he's like cursing out the door and like kicking it and stuff, and everyone's trying to like find a window instead and stuff. And it's like it would be really weird if you were watching the show and you didn't know, but Aaron was like, "Yeah, that happened. He just kept rolling ones. I don't know what to tell you." And it's like, it's so much more funny with like the context of it being a D&D campaign.
That's the problem with so many long-running D&D shows, where it's like, what do you do? Do you jump in halfway through and try and just work it out, or do you start at episode 1, which was roughly 10,000 hours ago?
I tallied it up because I was like, maybe I should catch up on Critical Role because everyone says they really enjoy it, and I've tried a couple times and I haven't really. But it's like there's like 2,000 hours of content now between me and
crazy.
Current, and it's like I just can't do it.
Yeah. That's like me in One Piece.
Yeah, our friend Alex who's seen all of One Piece. I always have a running joke with him about like maybe one day I'll watch it. And it's like 600 plus episodes or something. And then we had lockdown and a global pandemic, and I'm off work for like 4 months. And he's like, I'm like, nah.
I get, and I guess if you're not going to do it now, it's like it just isn't happening, is it?
Yeah, you can do it. I believe in you. You can 1 episode a day. Go on.
There are guides to watching it online where it's like you can just skip this, and this because we know it's stupidly long.
Excuse me. But that's why this show is great. So if you have an interest in Critical Role, but you don't have 2,000 hours to spare,
there you go.
This is just nicely quick catching me up through it in a way that's really easily digestible.
Speaking of Quikwix.
Hey.
What have you done?
These fucking segues,
I have played a couple games. I have played Escape Simulator mainly, which is a very fun puzzle game where you can do it solo or with friends.
That is not the art style that I thought it would have. Like typing it in.
Yeah, it's mostly it's just like it's like you're stuck in a small room and there are several puzzles, and you got to work them out. And everyone knows escape rooms in real life. This is not like scary. There is a timer, but it's very optional. It doesn't like when it runs out. It's just it's run out. You keep finishing the room if you've not finished yet. It's very good. I will say it's like limited for what they have in the base game, but apparently there are the community has made puzzles, and so there's like infinite puzzles eventually.
Yeah.
That has been very fun.
Infinite puzzles.
Yeah, I've been playing that with a friend, and it's very good because puzzles that I get stuck on, he generally can do, and puzzles that he gets stuck on, I generally like to see the answer. So it's just like, if you like those types of games, like in the past I played the Professor Layton games. If you like those types of games, it's like just a little fun game. It's not too expensive as well.
Is it really jank controls because they're like, haha, we're a simulator game?
No, it's very simple. It's basically like pick up or insert. That's you're mostly just looking at stuff. You can turn things around. There'll be like vases on the ground which you can pick up and smash, and there might be like a key inside or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very good quality for what it is. But I will say, especially with like the base puzzles, once you've done them once, it's a puzzle game. You've done them. You know the.
Yeah.
So it's not really something you could like play by yourself and then play with friends. Like go in with like, if you want to play alone, play it alone. If you want to go in with friends, play it with friends. But you're not gonna have that replay value.
The simulator name is so tainted. I don't know why they call it that.
I was gonna say I was a bit at first. I was like a sim. I don't like all that farming sim, Euro Truck sim, all that. But
no, I don't see. I don't think of that. I think of Surgeon Simulator and all those stupid ones where it's like Goat Simulator and like, oh, we're bad controls, but the game costs £1.50, so it's fine.
This is like very good quality. The puzzles are.
This looks decent.
Not difficult. They're not like, oh, you need to be a brain scientist to do them all. But they're not like face roll easy. Like we've not had a point where we've had to like struggle and like cheat. It's all we've just managed to get through them together, and it's just a good old time.
Is your main fun come from this? The fact that it's co-op. Like, would you enjoy this on your own?
I think I would enjoy it on my own because I do like puzzle games, but it's just fun with a friend where it's like, oh yeah, we're looking for clues together around the room, and like, oh, on this wall there's a puzzle, and this one there's a puzzle, and we can do one each individually. Like, I guess that in some ways, like, there are some puzzles which I miss out on because my friend does them, but it's not. I'm not like, oh damn, I wish I had done that. It's just fun to do.
I only ask because this is like a whole massive genre, right? There are like millions of games that if you really like this sort of thing, like the whole 999 series, they're brilliant.
Oh yeah, for single player,
yeah. So it's like if you like really good visual novel stories but also escape the room stuff, I highly recommend 999 on DS.
There's one, isn't there? Just escape room, isn't that?
It's a genre. It's a whole genre of game.
No, but I mean, I swear I watched someone play through the other day a game just called Escape Room, and it's literally this. You're just in a room, and you have to escape. I don't know. I'm
trying to think what this.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was just that game.
It might be.
I might be thinking of this one. Yeah.
Virtual's Last Reward.
Virtual's Last Reward. That's the one I started with.
That game's amazing. If you like horror, kind of horror stories, but also escape the room stuff, these games are brilliant.
But like escape simulator is not horror at all. It's not scary because I know sometimes escape rooms have that like darker, like escape or you're gonna die sort of thing. But this one's just more puzzles. Go have fun, you know. So
I like that. In your duo, who solves all the puzzles, Steve?
I would definitely say my friend Joey solves.
He solves the puzzles.
No, but I have my own, and there's some that
You
he
pull your
struggles
weight.
on.
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah.
If you need me, I'll be in the corner.
I always remember whenever you play a co-op puzzle game, there's the one person who gets it and the other person who you're like, no, just twist the thing. No, that thing. Yeah, to the left. Yeah. Okay, do that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, thank you.
I did a real escape room for like a Christmas party at work. I think back in like 2019 or something. And in our group of 5 people, one of the part of the room was you had a shotgun, and occasionally a zombie would pop up, and you had to shoot it. And one woman that was part of that I work with, she was like, "Oh, I want to do that bit. If you can leave this one thing to me, that's what I'll do." And every time she would just forget, and we kept like munched by zombies. And we were just like, "You've got one job. All you have to do is just stand here with your gun, and every like 3 minutes, pull the trigger." And she's like, yeah. She just kept forgetting every time. And it's like, you don't fail, but it adds time to your total.
I thought you were gonna say, because I've done some escape rooms in real life as well, and as a puzzle video game player, I feel like I feel like superhuman when I do them.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Because it's like I'll go in with a bunch of people from like the office, and they'll be like, "Oh, we need a code for this lock," and I'm like, vehicle number plates on the wall. We passed them when we walked in. It's take the first number from all of those and put it in. They're like, "How the fuck do you do that?" And I'm like, "I've done this is my first rodeo."
you walk in and there's like a I've little
played Resident Evil.
There's a little bin in the corner and you're like, right, okay, lift that upside down. Yep, key taped to the bottom. Yeah,
yes,
right, we got that.
It's like that. Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's a chest with a lock on it, and there's a mirror above it. Look in the mirror. Yep, there's the code on the back of the wall. Yep.
Yeah. If there are any like video game players out there listening to this, and you want to really impress your folks, maybe next holiday season or something, book an escape room with your family, and just then they'll see what all these video games is worth. You know, not wasting my time now, am I, Mum? As you solve every single.
You're
puzzle.
spoiling it. Stop doing it so fast.
One thing I will say about Escape Sim, just in case anyone's worried about it, that they on like by the door, there's always like a hint button if you really are struggling. We haven't found that we've needed it yet, but like you can get like a bunch of hints if like you're like really stuck. So
That's good.
Just open a Game Facts page. That's just like plain text.
Game Facts was my childhood.
It says Escape Simulator in ASCII text.
In ASCII, yeah.
I'm really showing our age there, actually. Shit.
No one's gonna get that.
The other new game that I've played this week that I tried for one round was Super People, which is a battle royale. Where
you spoke about this last time,
yeah. But I actually played one round of it because like it's been like a month or so since I played in the beta, and it is jank. But it's like it's jank that I could see myself going back to. It's just like, it's trash, but I'll play it another round. You know, it's very pretty.
Such a bad name.
Yeah,
it is awful. Isn't it?
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend people get it, but if you get it, you can find some enjoyment. But it's not. Again, not recommending it.
I thought this game was free. Am I?
It is free.
Oh, so. You say get
it's on Steam. It's the battle royale. Yeah.
Wait, what's it called?
Super People.
Join Super People CBT.
It's closed beta.
Closed beta test. Yeah.
Oh right.
Launched now, but you have to. When I signed up for the beta test, you had to like give your phone number to. I think it's the Chinese developer, and I'm not saying anything like bad about that, but it was just like, oh yeah, they don't want you to cheat in this game, but it definitely is like the gunplay isn't like that super great, but it's if you play it, it's a battle royale. You can imagine what it's like. It's nothing super special about it.
How do you drop in? Is it parachute, PUBG style?
You just wait, no, okay. It is parachute.
Uber drops you off.
I don't remember because it was like the round was like over like so quickly. because I had first game gave me like the blaster power, and I was like, nope, I do not want that. So I spent some of my in-game gold to reroll, and I got teleporter, and yeah, and that was like when I got to level 10, I could press G and just teleport somewhere on the map. Like if I got into trouble, I did that, and it put me right beside where I just was, and I still died. So
Yep, that's the battle royale gameplay loop.
That's
Yeah.
Steamboat. I might be in.
it looks like looks wise, it really does look like polished. Like it's the graphics
It looks
are
like
gorgeous.
PUBG. Am I?
Yeah,
it
we've
looks-
had this conversation last week. I think it's
I
it's
don't think
basically
the map is
it's PUBG.
that big, but yeah.
I was going to say it's just Chinese PUBG, but PUBG is Chinese anyway. So
But yeah, I've played that. That's about it for my week for new games.
well, this looks like a million times. This looks great to me because all I've been playing primarily this week is Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Great game.
I keep flip-flopping so hard between this game's kind of cool, I'm really enjoying this game, to then all of a sudden like this game is trash. I hate this game. And
Wow.
I think what I've worked out is it's way better in short bursts than really long play sessions. Like just booting it for like an hour and running around
Interesting.
and
I would agree, yeah.
catching some Pokemon.
I-
It's kind of fun.
At the start of the
yeah.
week,
What do you
I had a
think?
day where I played it for probably about 10 hours.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun that I decided that this game is actually a great game.
So my thoughts with it so far, because I played it a bit when we were talking about it last week, but I've really gotten further into it now. I still don't think I'm anywhere close to finishing it, but I've done 3 out of the 5 big bosses, so I think I'm
I've
halfway
done
at
through
least.
5.
Yeah. Getting the big thing out of the way first. It looks awful. Like, I don't think a game has looked worse than this on Switch. I think the game genuinely looks really bad. I was playing about an hour ago with Laura, and we got to a part where you have to run through a cave, and I wasn't sure if the game had bugged, because the guy I was with was talking about, oh, this cave's really dark, we need a Zubat or some shit to be able to see or something. But the cave's all like lit, and it's like a repeating texture everywhere, and it looks awful. So I'll post it on Twitter in a bit. But I took screenshots on my Switch because I was like, this doesn't look right. But other than that, I think the gameplay loop it's okay. I've got a bunch of items that they're like stealth bombs to like hide, and you can throw snacks to like distract Pokemon and then catch them. But I think the fact that just throwing a ball catches the Pokemon like 60% of the time, I don't use any of the other items. I just take the path of the path that leads to
I'm
distance.
always throwing out bait because I found that once you get to about the 3rd island onwards, Pokemon see you from so far away.
See, I still don't I don't have that problem. You can there are little rocks and trees everywhere that you can just break line of sight, and I've gotten used to like the ball throwing velocity, or I use the feather balls, and you can throw them from so far away. I'm on area 4, where everything is getting quite strong, and like you say, stuff sees you from far away. But I'm still playing it like a third-person shooter. I'm still just like I'm sprinting around. I'm just like, if I throw a ball at something, I just keep running, and if I hear it break out, I'm like, I don't care. I've already moved on. like I will let you live. And I think I'm not sure if I'm making it boring for myself.
You're like, optimizing the fun, right? And
Kind
all
of,
that.
yeah. Because it's like I can look at this Pidgey and throw bait, and then sneak up over like a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, and then sneak up and get the perfect catch.
It takes 5 seconds.
No, it takes 5 seconds longer than just yeeting a
In
ball at
this-
its backside.
in this hyperbolic exaggeration world that Josh has made up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
And it's not the Pidgeys that you're trying to bait. It's the alphas and stuff like that.
See, I haven't caught any alphas because I can't
I've
throw a
got-
ball at them and instantly catch them. I don't care.
I've got 2 boxes full of alpha Pokemon.
You can if you like get them perfectly from
Oh
behind.
no, he's
them.
not saying you physically can't. He's saying it doesn't
can't.
work on the first try, and
Yeah.
thus he cares not for alpha Pokemon.
Do you
I was
think?
gonna say,
Oh, you can go, Steve.
I was gonna say I follow a lot of Pokemon people on Twitter, and they have been really enjoying getting shiny Pokemon in that game.
I've heard
Like,
about
it
the
seems-
simple fact that you can save your game before you try and
Yes.
catch it. Just means shinies are 10 times better to try and catch.
You see a shiny in the world, the first thing you do is save,
Yeah.
and then you then you try to get it. But yeah, the game is doing really well. Like it's
I was always going
one
to
of
do really well.
It's doing
One of
really,
our
it's doing
new
really,
stories
really well. Though I think it's doing
is
better than people hoped.
yeah. Apparently, it's the second best launch week for a Nintendo game, other than Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
It has sold, especially in Japan at least. It has been doing really well with its sales. So
Pokemon Legends Arceus sells 6.5 million copies in just 7 days. Which
How's
is,
that compared to the last couple of actual Pokemons?
I think it's. I don't think it's better than Sword and Shield, but I think it's still really good.
it must be because it's the only one ahead of it is Animal Crossing. For
Oh,
Switch,
then
at
yeah,
least.
Sword and Shield, week 1 sales. That's Pokemon Arceus. Pokemon Sword and Shield sells 6 million units in its first week, so it's slightly better than Sword and Shield.
Slightly better than Sword and Shield. Okay.
Which I'm glad, because if they ever deserve to be rewarded, it's when they try doing something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
even
Well,
if it.
that's the thing. I think this game looks great.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You're mad. You're mad.
If you look at the ground and like the walls of like the textures, yeah, the game looks ass. But if you look at like the actual like Pokemon and the atmosphere and the water and everything, it looks great.
I think the
style over graphical.
yeah the
power
art the
sort of
art
thing.
style is good, because Pokemon has always had good art style. It's just technically these games are always terrible. They have
Yeah.
it has a level of detail of about -3 meters, so grass is just like in your face after you've walked over it. It's like, I'm exaggerating, but grass is popping in 2 feet in front of you. There's starlies and birds in the sky with 1 frame of animation every
I've
second.
seen that.
It's like
But-
everywhere I look, I'm like, this just
That's
looks
just
bad.
The Switch.
This comes back to as well, where we've had this discussion before, but
Yeah.
I play these games docked on a massive TV.
I see. I've been playing it docked. That's why I think it looks good. When
Then
I play
I
it,
don't get it. Then you're mad.
when I play it held in my hand, the game looks ass,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
and it's
the
also
Silicon-
really unwieldy because you got to press so many buttons at once.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff to do. Like change balls and then change the Pokemon and then lock on, throw, dash, roll, stealth.
Yeah, the cynic in me thinks that in some way Nintendo keep their games looking poor, so they can do, oh look, it's a remaster on the next console. We're re-releasing it again, like they did for Hyrule Warriors and stuff. Like,
Yeah. I
here's
think-
the upgrade-
Oh, no, I
updated
don't think it's
graphics
not
with 1 or 2 more
intentional.
features. Well, I know, it's probably not,
No,
but
it's-
you know,
There's
It's
there's
just
no way. Like, especially when you're trying something brand new.
I think it's
yeah.
like, no one sets out to make a bad looking game, right? People are always trying their best. The problem with this is pure opinion, so this is all me. I think Game Freak have one of 2 problems. They either have a serious management issue, where they clearly can't manage their staff properly to get good technical stuff out fast enough, or I think,
Or they don't care.
or I don't think they don't care. I think maybe they're just retaining staff that just either they don't care, or they're just not as good as other developers. I think I would be a lot crueler to this game graphically if it came out a few weeks later, because what is it, in like 2 weeks' time I'm going to be playing Horizon 2 Forbidden West on PS5, another open world game, and that game so far just looks.
Yeah, but comparing a game on PS5 graphically to a game on Switch.
I think there's. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, right? I understand that one's a Switch and one's a PS5, but I feel like when you see, there always feels there's more care put into games compared to Game Freak's games. It's like Will said, it's like, do they not care? And sometimes you look at this and it's like, you think like, do just not care. There's other stuff on Switch that looks so much nicer than this game. So it's not a Switch thing. Breath of the Wild looks great, and it's a launch game. It's like stuff like that. I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying.
People keep saying that. They always say Breath of the Wild, and every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't... Like, it does look good, but it still just looks the same. It's a Switch game.
I don't know. Maybe it is just fundamentally a Switch issue then, where the Switch is just really showing its age now.
I think Breath of the Wild, when I was playing it on my big TV, there were moments where I could forget it was a Switch game.
We're doing this right now. Breath of the Wild screenshots.
Oh god.
Because I just did the same thing.
No, that's not a screenshot from the game.
That was from an early
That
trailer,
can't
I
be.
think. This is 100% a screenshot from the game. That looks nicer.
Slightly nicer, yeah.
I
I would
think.
say,
Yeah.
to me, with Pokemon games, like, the big impressive thing was always the amount of Pokemon that they're adding each single time. But now that they're making games and they're like, we're not adding all the Pokemon, I'm like, well then improve the quality elsewhere, please. Like,
Yeah,
I can understand bad graphics if you need to do like 900 Pokemon, but now you're doing like 500. You know,
Yeah.
you can spare a little bit more for graphics.
Pokemon is a set, like, it's a set in stone game, right? They can't just change the art style of Pokemon that already exist.
No, true, but
Right?
the designs aren't that simple.
No, but they
in the
can
first-
make them look, a higher quality.
I just feel like like you say, it's like we're removing Pokemon, like from the overall decks. It's like, so you can focus on other areas. It's like, haha. Also, no. I just
Well, I
think
think
it's
part of it is
like-
the jump from 2D to 3D. Is you can't do as much content as you could in a sprite 2D game as you can in a 3D game.
Reflect sprites, then I don't mind the sprites.
Oh yeah, that's the whole other
Was it Dragon Quest 11 that let you play the game in 3D or 2D sprites?
The
on
2D came out a lot later.
yeah, that was on a 3DS version, I think, or something.
No, but you could play it like in
Yeah, you could press a
like-
button and change between.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the main problem this always comes down to is this entire conversation should not exist for one of the most popular IPs on the planet. It's
yeah,
like,
it's the biggest franchise in the world.
In
I
the
think.
world.
Like,
it's up there at least. I didn't say in the world because I wasn't sure, but because you got like Disney and shit, right? But it's certainly up there.
Yeah, don't underestimate Pokemon.
But exactly. You just brought up the thing that said this is potentially the best-selling Pokemon game of all time. So it's like clearly the issues you're having with it, it does not bother most Pokemon fans.
Yeah,
they seem fine
I think
to
that's
just keep buying whatever Game Freak
that's
puts
true.
out.
I want to be like, no, everyone's complaining, but it's like I know it's just a handful of people on fucking Reddit or something. It's like most people clearly don't care. They'll buy anything with Pokemon on it, and that's fine, you know.
But I think you're valid in saying you don't like the way it looks. Because even that screenshot, you put that side by side with what we just saw from Breath of the Wild, and it's like night and day difference.
Yeah.
The thing I have to say to that is I don't think it can be done better at the moment.
Well, yes, because of the technical limitations. Yeah.
This is just the whole conversation again about the Switch
that's,
and being like,
that's what I mean.
please
It's
update
like I
your
was going to
hardware.
say when you guys were saying about like taking Pokemon out of the Pokedex, like the idea that because there's less means that they can focus elsewhere doesn't take into account that maybe there's less because they can't have them all in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to make a big news article out of it, but one thing that came out this week was, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but there was a tweet or something. And within the tweet, it was from Nintendo. And they said something about how they're halfway through the Switch's life cycle, they think.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
I'm just
that's
like,
what it means.
for God's sake. All I want is just like, even not even a new console. Just give me a Switch with that outputs 4K. Or just,
Switch Pro.
a Switch Pro. Yeah, give me an intermediate Switch. Not this OLED bollocks that I don't care about. I don't need the same hardware but a nicer screen. I want something to play the same games, but at either a
OLED
higher
is
frame
only-
rate or a high resolution.
Yeah, the OLED was only an upgrade for the handheld parts of the Switch, where it's like, no, give us docked upgrades, please.
Yeah,
I beg of you.
Yeah, or just not even just docked upgrades.
Well-
give it a higher res handheld screen, like 1080p, and then have it not even output 4K native, just upscale it to 4K, so at least, checkerboard rendering or something like that. Just anything, just make it look a little bit nicer.
Well, I think I don't mind if they want to maintain current Switch, right? Because I played through Breath of the Wild, didn't have any issues with the way it looked or anything. But if you're gonna do that, don't showcase how behind you are in tech by putting out games like, I don't know, I haven't played it, like Arceus.
Arceus,
whatever. I don't know. I still don't know how it's pronounced. I've heard it pronounced every different way. But yeah, so don't put out games like that, which all they do is highlight how behind the Switch is in tech compared to like some phones now. You know?
I mean, Monster Hunter Rise was the big one that made me realize how behind the Switch is.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Rise looked decent compared to other Switch games, and it still looks
I don't mean
not great.
graphically, though. I mean mechanically. Like, when you think how much less there is
World.
in Rise
Yeah.
coming off of World, but even compared to old, almost Monster Hunter games.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There was that Generations X or something, right? That came out. They remastered it for Switch, and that had
that was like a 3DS one they remastered.
It load of content in it. That one.
There's like, I think there's only so much you can complain about a game or a game developer for when it's on the Switch.
Yeah, I think the problem with these conversations is we're clearly all very passionate about these sorts of things. We love, or I love Nintendo games. I love playing them. They hold some of my favorite franchises and IPs, and all I want, because of that, because they're all my favorites, all I want out of them is to be, as best as they can. I want them to look great. I want them to be amazing. I want them to be top of the genre.
You want a Metroid game that's of the same quality as God of War.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's just I feel like
that's what you want.
Yeah, I can scream to the heavens about that as much as I want, but then Nintendo can just look to their left, look to their right, see these big mountains of money, and be like, "We're just going to carry on doing what we're doing."
Yeah,
like we're doing absolutely fine. We're selling so many copies.
It's tough, right? Because you're sort of in there was like the gap where Nintendo was like, all right, we're not gonna race with Xbox and Sony anymore. We're gonna do our thing off over here.
Yeah.
But you're the like small crowd that's left behind that's like, no, please.
I was the Wii defender.
Make a PS5. Yeah.
I was the Wii defender when it had shovelware. I was like, PS3 got no games. Look at me, I've got Excite Truck with the revolutionary new controls. that was me. I was
the core gamer they left behind.
Exactly. Yeah, I went to a midnight launch for Nintendo Wii. Back in
you psychopath.
God, what was that? 2006? I don't know.
I didn't go to a midnight launch for the Wii, but I remember like during launch week, I was going around to stores and be like, "Do you have any, please? I want one."
This guy didn't pre-order.
Yeah, no, I didn't pre-order. I was too young back then. I had to get my mum to drive me over to town, and we hunted all day, but we eventually found one.
Yeah, I went to midnight launch at Blockbuster Games.
Oh wow!
Blockbuster.
They had the best return policy, which is probably why they went bust. They had as a kid with like no money, right? They had a returns policy where you could return a game within a week, even if it's been open and used, as long as it's in perfect condition.
Yep.
I would stretch 50 quid for one game. That would cover like 20 games.
Yep.
It was insane.
There was a summer where the game shop in my town did the same thing. I played a lot of PS2 games over that week.
Yeah. And
Enter the Matrix, or whatever it was called, completed it, mate.
Yeah, I used to just play
Final Fantasy X Part 2, completed it.
You just play everything. You'd be like, I would go in, and I think it was one or two times I would go in and return it and be like, I want to buy it again. And the guy was like, yeah, it's fine, because they knew what people were doing.
I'd walk in, drop my copy of Transformers, whatever, on the desk, and be like, gonna grab that Killzone over there, and they'd be like, all right, see you next week.
Rest in peace, Blockbuster.
It was you.
You
single-handedly.
Yeah, if you enjoyed Blockbuster and Blockbuster games, I'm so sorry. It was me that killed it.
Is this before or after you stole that copy of Half-Life 2?
Oh god, that's the same shop. Oh fuck. That was the same shop. Oh, I killed them. But yeah, so getting back on topic, I played a bunch of Arceus. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna finish it. I've got like a week and a half, a week and 2/3 until Horizon. So this will fill the gap nicely until then.
How are you? How are people? Just quick. How are people doing with the Pokédex?
I don't actually know. I don't track it. I just
You don't care.
No.
So what about you, Steve? You care?
I want to play more, but I'm just people keep wanting to play games with me, so I'm like,
Oh, you're so
okay,
popular.
I can put it on next tomorrow. But yeah, I've just beaten the first boss in that.
Okay, so you're still early doors.
yeah.
Because on that day where I spent 10 hours playing it, I've like seen 120 Pokemon, and I have completed the research for 112.
Man, you're playing
I've, like-
you're playing a different game to me, my friend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm just loving every bit of it.
I feel confident that I could probably say that we're at the same point in the story, but you've probably played about 4 times as much as me. Because I have not completed that many of the decks. Like I say, I treat it as a third-person shooter, and these Pokemon are my enemies.
It's a stealth game for me, mate. It's a stealth open world survival RPG.
I will say it's great for screenshots of people, like where you can like send out all 6 of your Pokemon, like seeing little screenshots and
I've
Twitter
seen some of
videos.
those, yeah.
They're really cute, you know.
For the cover of this week's episode, could we get screenshots of all your guys' characters?
Oh, what?
Is that something you can organize?
What are our main characters?
Just see what color berets are you guys wearing?
I have. I look completely opposite to myself. I have like a ponytail and big, thick-rimmed glasses.
I don't think you can see my hair, but I've put my guy in a suit with nice shoes and a monocle. but because he's got just a normal red hat, I look like a postman. So I'm just Postman Pat over
Postman
here
Sam.
catching all Pokemon.
Yeah, I played Pokemon. I also don't have much to add to Vampire Survivors.
How
What
are
more do
finding
you say about it, really?
I love it. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, do you give it your seal of approval?
100% seal of approval. I played it what day was it? I can't remember what day it was, but I basically just spent a day on it. I was like,
Will noticed.
yeah, I was like, I'm bored. I've got some work or some things I should be doing, but I remember Vampire Survivors. I'll boot that for a bit and check that out. And I played it all day.
Yeah, it's so addicting.
I think
it reminds me of like old Warcraft 3 custom maps.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Well, you said they added achievements. I'm not sure if I caught those. Maybe I stopped playing before they came out. But I've done every achievement except for one, and it's not even the hardest achievement. It's just one that I just haven't done yet that I could do in 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I did the run where you have to get 5,000 coins in a single run, which I think is the hardest.
Yep.
Squeeze that out by like 7 coins. I was like, oh, because that game gets hairy, like towards the end.
No, they just added a bunch. I think it was yesterday. They added 3 more achievements, a new character, a new item.
See the character.
You can evolve the Santa water now, guys.
You can.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a big change.
The last achievement I had was to evolve, I think, the pigeon or something. It's the one thing.
Oh, that one's tough. That one's pretty tricky.
It's the one.
You gotta watch out for
it's
that
the
one.
one I hadn't done, but I haven't really dabbled with the other characters either because I found the whip was almost like always essential, at least when I was playing.
Oh, see that's
Really?
why I fucking love this game because I don't care for the whip at all. I think
Yeah,
it's
I think the
garbage.
whip's ass.
No, I think the whip. So early game, you can you start with like like this, that, and the other. But I found the whip was always really consistent too for like the first 10 minutes to take out big chunks of enemies in one hit.
Right. If you want to worry about early game consistency, pick the guy that is garlic. mate.
Garlic. Yeah, garlic.
Oh yeah,
man.
you just stand still
Easy.
and let them kill
you
themselves.
Just stand still and let them kill themselves all around you. Yep.
But
No, the best character is the skeleton, the
Oh,
bone guy. Yeah, Mr. Bones. Yeah.
see, I haven't
He'll
unlocked
he'll,
him, so
he'll set you out. He'll sort you right.
But my key build that I kept sort of sticking with because it was letting me complete the game every time was just the books flying around you like evolved.
Yeah.
The axes evolved into the scythes
Yeah.
that fly out, and I think it was just the whip maxed out, maybe not evolved, but I've got the whip because it's my starter one.
Mhm.
I mean, just almost the books on its own can almost just win you the game.
I also
Yeah.
found as well, so when you play the game to a certain point, you unlock alpha mode. I think, is it
Hyper
called-
mode.
Hyper mode, sorry, so playing too much Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, hyper mode. And I feel like when you play hyper mode, you can't go back to the other mode because the other mode
Yes,
feels
No, you
way
can't.
too
so
It
slow.
feels so
Yeah,
slow.
yeah.
So hyper mode is now just the go-to game mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, not much to add to it. Great game. £2.09. Insane. Like, insane value.
Yeah.
It got me because I ran out of things to do, right? I finished all the achievements, and then I was like, I wish I had another game that cost £2 that I could just boot up and like
Yeah.
chill out on after I'm done with Vampire Survivors. I was like, I'm addicted. I want more of that kind of
Yeah,
experience.
my internet is decent enough that I don't tend to keep a lot of games on my computer. If I want to play something, I just download it again. But I think I'm going to keep this game just perpetually installed on my Steam, and every so often just be like, yeah, I'll boot that up. Has it got any new content? If it hasn't, that's fine. I'll do a run, and then
The pace of the content updates is so fast as well. Like we said last week, it was like, oh, while we were talking about it, they updated with more stuff. Then during the week, they added more stuff. So it's like whoever's making this guy is working his little socks off to keep this momentum going.
It's the correct thing to
great.
do when you catch lightning in a bottle. Is to capitalize on it as much as you can.
Yes.
It's like
Also,
I said.
he clearly had like a roadmap in his head or something, right? Of
Yes.
like release game. These are the next updates
Yep.
that I want to do.
It's
No,
like I
no
said.
going dark for 2 years Among Us. Just keep up
The
with that
Among Us
content,
one
yeah.
was crazy. It's like you're making so much money. It's just like even if you're paralyzed with fear, as to like, oh god, what do we do? Just take a big chunk of your money, get a bunch of people in, hire someone to
Sell it
take
to
control.
Microsoft for $6 billion
Yeah.
and then just cruise off into the Caribbean. Yeah.
It's like if you don't know what to do, it's just like hire a guy
Give it to
to
Bungie.
take control and be like, okay, I'll do it for you.
There have been so many games like that. Like Among Us as you said, is a good one. Fall Guys as well was so popular. I think in part due to their social media manager, who like really helped that get advertise the game. But they did nothing with it straight away, and then eventually it just fell off. It's like there are these games that like get popular and they have like the attention, they have all the chances in the world, and they just don't capitalize on it quick enough.
But
Sell your
here's
company
what
quickly to like Sony. Or something.
Well, here's what I think happens though: is they don't plan for that kind of like catastrophic success, right? So as soon as they start, the dump truck full of cash starts rolling in.
Yeah.
They don't have a plan for like, oh, we have so much more scope for what we could do now. We were just going to add like another couple levels and call it a day, but now this could be a thing. So now it's like, now we have to plan. We have to rebuild our engine because we weren't prepared for all these extra content.
Yeah.
We're gonna back up to it now.
Well,
we need new artists to keep.
Also,
this stuff
imagine
going.
like you're an indie company and you pump out a game like that. The second it's released, you probably want time off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's a good point as
If
well.
if you catch lightning in a bottle, obviously you can do what you want. You're a human being. Do what you want.
but imagine if you've already gone on holiday or something. Right?
Yes,
You
yeah.
finally get a release date. It ships, and you're like, right, I'm going
Oh,
on
yeah, I see what
holiday.
you mean,
Good
yeah.
job, everyone.
Yeah. Then 4 weeks later, it gets picked up by some streamer.
Well, that happened
and
to
suddenly
Halo
it's the
Infinite,
front
didn't
page
it?
of Steam.
That happened to Halo
Yeah.
Infinite, AAA game, where they
They
launched
released
it. It had problems, and they were like, "Oops, it's Christmas.
It's Christmas. We've all left.
We'll be back in like 2-3 weeks. Sorry."
Yeah.
And then every day, the fans are like, fix this, fix that. Rah, rah, rah. And it's like we're on holiday.
It becomes like a pressure cooker, right? Where everyone's just getting madder and madder, and it's like I don't want to step back into that.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's got all these problems, but they're not responding.
Who's gonna
It's like-
pop the cork? Yeah.
It's like they're not responding because they're having Christmas dinner.
If it gets that popular, I would be like, okay, I've got to leave my holiday early, get back in, PR the shit out of it. Like, make sure that you are the face doing like interviews and stuff if you can.
I think
I don't think it's that
sell
easy,
your
though.
company or
Yeah.
get like a partnership with someone to help you. If you don't have the skills or the tools to manage it, you need to get partnered with someone big who
that's-
can maybe.
Yeah, but that's the
help
thing.
you.
It's small indie studios. It's just like a group of friends, right? And suddenly they have millions of dollars. It's like, who would I call if my indie game suddenly took off
Yeah.
and made $1 million? And I'm
I
like,
would-
oh, what do I do with this now? Who do I call? Jeff Keighley?
Reddit
Set me right?
game dev.
Yeah, yeah.
It would help you. I
Hideo
imagine
Kojima?
you tweet if your game is popping off and you're like tweet Jeff Keighley and say like, I'm popping off. Can you give me some advice? Like who would be good companies to work with to maybe like get keep this ball rolling?
I've
I think
always
that's being very charitable towards Jeff
I've
Keighley.
always-
I
I've
don't
always-
think
I've
he
always
would
thought-
I
respond
would
to
say
you.
no. I would be open like that. I would be open on Twitter, just being like, look, I just, I'm the lead dev of this game, and I need help going forward.
Yeah, I was
guess.
gonna
That's how I would
gonna say
handle it.
something similar in that, not to that point specifically where you're asking for help, but just be like, "Hello everyone, thank you for enjoying our game. Obviously with the shitloads of money we've made, our plans have changed, but you can expect updates from here going forward, and just keep people updated. It's when they go silent
Thing-
and nothing happens.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what Valheim did, though, and I don't think it helped. I think they still caught a lot of flack for saying, like, look, we're just a small indie studio. We didn't plan for any of this, so we're going to keep up the cadence of updates we've been doing so far.
And then they updated
Yeah.
once in a whole year.
Well, yeah, exactly, see? And you're mad.
Now,
But that's the thing though. Valheim it dropped off. Like it might pick up again when they would do a big update, but if you want that success, sometimes you have to like be like, okay, so we need some help. We need we need to keep these updates rolling because people, if there's a phase, people play it. They will play it to death. Like look at Among Us. People played that shit to death, and it just got no updates. Like the community was modding stuff, and still the devs were not like reaching out to those modders and being like, "Can we add that to our game, please?" or something.
Yeah, but there's
It
also
is-
a certain
it's
amount of,
like-
like, this is doing fine. Let's not touch this. You
I
know?
was going to
Like,
say, to play
yeah.
devil's advocate, imagine you get all that money in. At the end of the day, that's all like first time buy-in, right? People aren't going to buy the
Yeah.
game again.
Yeah.
I think the problem is these things are always like, it's like hindsight is 2020, right? It's
Yeah,
always
and
easy.
it's
It's
yeah,
always
yeah.
it's easy to say what
Easy
should have
to
been
say.
done when it's been out for a year. But it's like, I think
Also, when you're not in that position.
yeah, it's
right?
easy for me to say like these indie devs
Yeah.
should be more transparent and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But it's like you say, it's not always black and white. If it's a group of mates and then suddenly their bank account has 7 digits on it,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
But again, it's happened so many times now that it's like you should
say-
expect maybe.
but
the
how do
amount
you
of times that
plan?
it hasn't happened.
Yes,
is
yeah,
thousands
yeah.
times.
You
more.
only remember the success stories. You don't remember the billions of indie games that get put on
But
Steam and make
there are-
zero money.
But you have some case studies now to be like, oh, what did this company do? What did this company do? Like, no, or at least be like, what did they not do? And the thing that they didn't do was update their community often about like what's happening.
Yes, but game community sucks, Steve.
Yeah,
true.
I think
you'll catch flack either way. It's just how much do you want to catch.
survivorship bias is a real thing as well, which is like you were saying, how it's not just games, it's any music, artwork, writing, game dev. It's like most of it gets sent out and it just doesn't really go anywhere. And you can make big elaborate plans for what you want to do next, but if 7 people
Yeah,
play your
I
game,
I don't like I did indie dev for a little bit, and there wasn't ever a folder on our desktop that was like, in case of billionaire, open contingency plan.
dream big, Will.
It's the thing, like, imagine if £1 million just landed in your bank account of a game you released. Like, do you think you would have the drive to suddenly like make that game pop off, or would you just be like, "Oh damn, I'm set"?
Well, the problem is it's like if you do, because getting all that money and then being like, oh damn, I'm set, is like a totally legit path you could take. You could so do that.
Absolutely.
But it's like if this is your career, that's suicide, right? For your career, it's like, I'm never buying this stuff again. He took money and he made a perfectly good product and ran with the money after he released it, which sounds stupid. But that's how
that really happens in video games.
But that's how
does it?
people
if
would.
it's early access, yes,
Yeah.
I could see.
Oh
people
well,
going,
yeah.
If
but-
it's a fully released game, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that's a.
But I get
yeah.
what you say. I get both sides. But yeah, it's like, also, would that person care for their career?
Oh, it
but then-
depends.
Then there are some people.
we're
that are so
dealing in
passionate.
like very much absolutes right now, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who make enough but it's still a job for them. They still have to come
Yeah.
in and update and release more content and roadmaps and manage community and stuff.
I really like that conversation. I love those sorts of topics.
If there's ever a way not to do it, the guy that made Fez. That guy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that guy?
If my game doesn't
What
do
was his
well, I'm going
name?
to kill myself.
Phil Fish.
Phil
Is that his
Fish,
name?
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
That was indie game the movie.
Yeah, we did have that folder.
In case game does bad, you open it up and it's just a picture of a knife. Yeah, it's indie game the movie, the old classic movie that came out about Phil Fish and Fez, and also Braid.
Yeah, that's Jonathan Blow's Braid. Yeah.
Yeah. I have no decent transition off that. I played Vampire Survivors. It's really good. That's all I've played this week is Vampire Survivors and Pokemon Arceus. I played Rocket League and RuneScape, but that's been done to death, so I'm not talking about that.
There's a game. If we're moving on, there's a game I want to know if you've seen, Josh.
Okay.
Because I look at this game and I'm like, this is you written all over it.
Okay. Shoot.
It's called SIFU.
Seafood.
Yeah.
SIFU.
S-I-
SIFU.
Oh, I know about this. This is the roguelike brawler / fighting game,
Yes.
which came out today.
Today.
I haven't looked up much about it. I know roughly what it's about. You play as a young guy, a young adult, and every time you die / fail, you do the level again, but you're slightly older. Is that right?
You basically you get back up at the point of where you died,
Yeah.
and then your like magical talisman or whatever it is brings you back up, but makes you like 3 years older.
Yeah.
And as you get older, you get more strength, but you lose maximum health.
Yeah. I've heard
And
a lot about this.
Yeah, and then once you
Neat
get to a
idea.
certain age, that is it. Game over.
Yeah, because you just die of old age.
Yeah.
I wasn't overly interested, but I saw today the reviews started coming out, and it's doing very well.
Oh, I've been watching this game all day, and all I thought was Josh is really going to enjoy this.
Sell to me the combat. Is it Dark Soulsy?
Yeah, it's very like I want to say Absolver because it's
Same people,
hand
isn't
to
it?
hand.
I was
mostly.
going to say, I'm watching a trailer. I was going to say Absolver. Yeah.
Because it's mostly hand to hand combat, although there are weapons around. But it is it's ever so punishing. Like
Yeah.
if you get hit by a combo, that is a life gone. It's all about like learn the game, learn your combos, learn how to like parry and stuff, or you do not progress. Like it seems brutal.
Oh, this looks really cool.
It's on Epic. Oh, I thought it was a PlayStation thing. Okay.
I think it's. I don't think it's on Xbox or Microsoft. I think it is a PlayStation / Epic
Yeah,
Games Store thing.
I believe it is Sony.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
cool.
I'll have to check this out. Like I said, I know bits and pieces. I know that people were excited for it, and now it's like, when I know I shouldn't be reliant on reviews. I should form my own opinions. But when a game comes out and everyone's like, "This is really good. This is really good," I'm like, I'd start paying more
Yeah.
attention.
when critics and customers are all like,
Yeah.
"Wow, this game's incredible," and you had some interest in it, suddenly you're like, "Oh, okay then,
Yeah.
all right then, you've got me."
This looks very what is it? What's that movie? It's Old Boy. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I think that's the
the
reference there.
right?
Yeah.
The corridor scene in Old
Yeah.
Boy. That's sick. I have to
Yeah.
give it a look. If I get the time to play it, there's a lot of stuff coming out at the moment, unfortunately. It might go on the backlog, which hopefully I don't forget about it. But
Really neat
I'll
idea.
remind you. Don't worry.
yeah, let's close some of these tabs. So what have we got for news stories? I've got a few. I don't want to go crazy into it because we went so far into it last week, but the whole NFT thing is still going on. It's
I
like,
like that now we're getting like whole arcs where Team 17 announced they were doing NFTs and then announced they weren't doing NFTs in the space of us releasing a single podcast. So nothing happened.
So
Team 17 has done nothing this week.
that ties that up pretty nicely.
Yeah, that's neat.
So there
The
we
only
go.
thing I know about that is there are some companies that are selling their own stuff to themselves to try and drive the prices up.
It's almost like it's all a scam.
Further proving it's just a fucking scam.
Yeah, so the story with that was they created Meta Worms. That was an NFT art project. Everyone went absolutely fucking nuts. All these indie devs were coming out and saying, I've got the one from Aggro Crab.
It was a really cathartic read, yeah.
It's a bit blurry, but this is the size of the image. We believe NFTs cannot be environmentally friendly or useful and really are just an overall fucking grift. Please don't harass the employees at Team 17 or any of them. This has taken them off guard and it came from the top. Needless to say, won't be working with them on further titles and encourage other studios to do the same. I fucking hate it here.
They put up a poll afterwards that said, I fucking hate it here. T-shirts, yes, no. And overwhelmingly everyone was like, yes, I want one of those.
I'd buy that. So, yeah, there was that.
And you had NFT stories out of the way, yeah.
Yeah, just get all these up in one go. So that was MetaWorms, and then I think it was like a day later, a couple of days later. It wasn't long at all. They cancelled it.
I'm pretty sure it was less than a day, maybe slightly less than 2 days.
Yeah, but that damage is done. You had this tweet from Jason Schreier, however you pronounce his name, saying that EA CEO Andrew Wilson is like not really interested in NFTs.
EA before were interested, but now they're saying they're not.
Yeah, so you've got EA saying like kind of no, we're not really into that anymore. But then you've also got this tweet from Nintendo saying that they see potential in the area. So
read the article. They said they see it's an interesting area, but they said they currently don't see how NFTs bring joy. So
oh yeah,
they're not going to do it while it's like they say it's an interesting area, but where's the fun in it, So
I think of all the games to slap NFTs onto, Animal Crossing feels like the most obvious, right?
Oh yeah, that one would sell like hotcakes.
It's just like, oh, you've made a cute bench, but this one's your bench. This is
God.
your little parasol that you've made to protect yourself in the rain. That's yours. It's in the blockchain.
Hey, that's a really great idea. It could not include NFTs whatsoever and still be a cool idea.
No,
that's the big
in this outfit. Oh,
Miyamoto needs to get his Ethereum. It's fine.
Yes.
So yeah, just rounding that up. So that's more NFT stuff. There's nothing to say that we haven't already said. I still feel like this just solidifies in my mind that we are right at the beginning of some kind of big fundamental change. Like something's gonna.
Nope, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nope. I think this will go away. I think people will move on to the next fad, the next grift. People get sick of hearing about NFTs.
Yeah. I think people need to be active in saying we don't like NFTs. So these big because it's always like the rich top brass that are like pushing it. So everyone needs to be like active in saying we don't like NFTs, so they stop and then they'll move on to something else.
Yeah, because the head of Nintendo, he doesn't have a fucking clue what NFTs are. He just heard NFTs make money, and he thought, all right, maybe we could get into that. We'll see. And he doesn't know any more than that. So as long as people keep saying, I don't want an NFT, they won't happen.
I think the people at the top that get into this stuff early, because like you say, it's a big pyramid scheme, right? The people that profit the most are people that are already into it. If they get into it early and own a big chunk of the pie, they're the ones that fundamentally make a shitload of money.
I reckon Andrew Wilson of EA is sat on a huge horde of meta worms right now.
Really not.
Yeah, he's had enough. He's like, screw this. But again, like, EA could easily put that kind of stuff into FIFA, because you already have what are they called? You have like the FIFA packs.
They already have that though. You can get packs with players that are unique to you, and then you can sell them on EA's marketplace, and the EA takes a cut. That's why this whole thing is so stupid. None of it relies on blockchain technology. They're just trying to shoehorn it in where it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't need it.
Let FIFA keep the NFTs then. We'll put them all onto FIFA and they can stay
that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Like a lightning rod, yeah.
It was like EA FIFA sacrifices itself. It's like, go, run, I'll contain all the NFTs.
They absorb all
Yeah,
of the shitty monkey
absorbs it all,
pictures.
yeah. Put up a
Why are
big
they all
statue.
so ugly as well? That's what I don't get. They're all so like
All the
off-putting.
the
Whenever I
monkeys.
see an actual NFT, I'm like, this art is so shit. Just can you not afford real artists?
No.
Well, no, because the real artists are getting their art stolen
Yes.
and being made into NFTs without their permission.
Oh yeah, I
so-
did read that as well. Yeah.
Oh, I hate
Right,
this
well,
whole. I hate this whole conversation.
Yeah,
Moving
I don't want to talk about this.
on.
It's
Coming
just
off of
depressing.
coming off of Nintendo, you've got this was an interesting story. You had YouTuber Gilversona got 3,500 copyright blocks for soundtracks shared on their channel, which I think it came out as like a big story, but in my mind I was like, hasn't this happened before?
Well, I think he's a popular one for people to use for like, music for like Twitch and stuff. Like, you're starting soon screen, you go to his YouTube and you'd be like, I want this soundtrack, and he was kind
So
of.
he's just uploading. He's just ripping and uploading.
Yeah, but it's not his music.
Nintendo-owned soundtracks. Yeah.
It's not. He didn't have any profit off it at all. It was literally. It should
not the
technically,
point.
I think, be fair use, right? If it's, or I'm not sure, but like you can upload, you can have the music if you're doing a let's play or anything else. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like.
Yeah, but Nintendo are iffy with that as it is.
There was a
Right.
big there was a big thing. I can't remember how long ago it was. It was like 7 years ago, maybe a bit longer, where the exact same thing happened. A bunch of Nintendo footage and music got like copyright slammed all over YouTube, and a whole bunch of people's videos that had even like sound clips. They were like, "Yeah, all that ad revenue, that's ours now," and. I think you used to be able to sign up for some like Nintendo partnership program where it was like, oh yeah, you can use our music if you want, but you can only use these tracks, and we're taking like 50% of your ad revenue regardless of the content.
It was something like if you wanted to do Nintendo plus other stuff, you would get like 10%, but if you did exclusively Nintendo stuff, you'd get like 50% or so. It was like really skewed and really bad. I don't think they do that anymore.
No, they got rid of it and they calmed down. There's been Nintendo stuff all over YouTube for a while now, people being okay with it, and then they've just done this again, and it was kind of like, well,
It's the
I
thing,
mean, at this
it's
point,
like-
go on.
I was gonna say if people are like got ad revenue and stuff and are just playing straight up tracks and shit from games and stuff, I'm like, that's your own fault.
yeah.
But when it's on like adless and stuff like that, like videos that make no money, I'm always just there like, what's the point?
Well,
But then they have to aggressively defend. That's part of how it is.
Yeah, that's how a lot of these companies are. They have to aggressively defend their own IP because they want, it sounds really shit, and I don't want to defend big corporate company over like little guy, but if it is their own stuff, I guess they can like do what they want. I guess it's ours. We made it. If we don't want it anywhere, we don't want it anywhere.
Copyright laws as well almost force them to.
Yeah.
Because if they don't aggressively defend it, they will get taken advantage of and will lose future cases.
Yeah. It's
just the way it is.
It's like
at this point, you just roll your eyes and go, "Yeah, it's Nintendo."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to like the whole playing really old games that you can't get hold of anymore, like like quote unquote ethical piracy and things like that. Where it's like, Nintendo, I can't play this game of yours anymore, and they're just like, "Yep, sucks, doesn't it?"
Yeah.
And they're like,
but then again,
don't pirate it though.
Yeah. Then again, I also think that Nintendo, like, if you watch any like sort of like gaming YouTube channel, they generally have like, you hear like Yoshi's Island, Ocarina of Time music in the back. Like it's very popular to have like Nintendo music in the back of your videos.
Well, it's nostalgic.
So I would say,
yeah.
So I would say they probably like Nintendo of all of them have like the biggest library of like really good music, and again, they probably got it from this YouTuber, and it's a shame that it's gone down. It's like Nintendo could use like a little bit of like positive press.
Yeah, it comes to a point where you say, okay, we just do this because people see us as being evil, which if we're taking the £50 ad revenue off of a guy's video because he uses a Yoshi sound at the start, maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should just take the good faith instead, because we don't need this guy's
7 million Arceus
There is
copies,
no
though,
good
Josh.
faith. If they do nothing, they don't get brownie points for not doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the whole.
Well,
It's,
I
yeah,
saw
it's-
someone suggest that maybe like take it down, but like see if he'll like hire the dude as like making a library of Nintendo music where you can subscribe, like a Spotify playlist or something where you subscribe and can use their music in your videos. Because I mean, people do it anyway.
Well, that's all it comes down
Yeah,
to,
but-
really. Is ultimately none of this is a problem as long as Nintendo
Yeah.
just put their music somewhere anyway for people
Yeah.
to somehow use.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like you want to use
That's
Nintendo's.
That's not on them though.
No, and I'm not saying
No.
they have to do that. It's it should just be a nice outcome, right?
Yeah, but it's like if Taylor Swift comes out with a new song, and some popular streamer or YouTuber comes and has their intro and outro with that new song in it, and they're got ad revenue,
Mm.
right? Taylor Swift has every right to be like, well, what the fuck you doing, right?
You know,
It's
It
exactly the
is
same
pretty
as this.
funny that Sam's right, but the YouTube and Twitch and all the major platforms have systems in place to automatically flag stuff like that and demonetize your video. If you put a Taylor Swift song in a YouTube video, YouTube goes, "Well, I'm not running ads on that."
Well, that's
I'm not-
exact-
and
that's-
I'll probably mute it.
But is
And
that
I
not
think it's
what-
interesting
Yeah.
that video game soundtracks have been completely exempt from anything like this so far, and I wonder if we're getting to the point where maybe big video game companies are going to start going, well, hold on, a lot of people have been using our and profiting from using
Yeah.
our original soundtracks for a really long time now.
yeah, they can't automate it, which is the big problem. It's like you'd have to literally have manual people because people, you can't. They've had that before.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
I think it's like a big wave before where like a police siren sound in Grand Theft Auto would get flagged and people had their videos like taken down because it was like
Yeah.
Yeah.
excessive.
And then you get into the whole argument of like, because it's like you can't stream a movie, but if you stream a game, is it transformative because you are playing it and you're part of the show, and so it's not quite the same. And I think that's a whole discussion that's way bigger than the four of us.
Yeah, it's the whole
But
it's the whole discussion of like a Twitch stream where it's like a bunch of people watch a whole game from start to finish, and essentially experience, the quote unquote the
Yes.
story for free.
Yeah.
But then how much of people watching does that translate to new sales from people that weren't going to buy it anyway?
Same thing as piracy as well. It's
Yeah, I mean this is the age
well,
old discussion.
yeah.
I've watched people play Hitman series. I will not buy the Hitman games because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't need to because I've watched people play it, and
But
that
you're going to buy them
is-
anyway.
But
Yes, there is that side of the argument. Like, you're not wrong.
because then the question comes down to if the systems didn't exist in place to allow you to watch the game, would you have bought it at some point? Even one of them, not all three, even one of them for a £5 in a sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have bought it? Because technically, theoretically, hypothetically, whatever the word is, they've lost £5 worth of sales by you being able to watch it.
But then how many people bought it off the back? of
Exactly.
Watching you play.
The
That's no good answer.
The logistics involve so many moving parts and so many
Yeah,
hundreds of
yeah.
thousands of individual people. You'll never have a proper answer. I don't think you can
Yeah.
physically work
And
out
it
a proper
depends on the
answer.
game, doesn't it?
Depends
Yeah,
on the
absolutely.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a Call of Duty game, you want people streaming that. You want people to see it. You want it in people's faces.
You
'Cause it
could.
will draw sales.
Well, and it depends. Are people there for the game? Are they there for the person? Does that depend on? Is that a case by case basis?
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
are people watching someone play Minecraft? Are they there because I want to watch some real high level Minecraft gameplay, or is it because of the person?
Oh, yeah, that's the
streaming
thing
it?
is where you can go on YouTube and type in, for example, name of game, no commentary, and
Yeah.
you can watch a game from start to finish
I do that a lot.
with
No
no
interruptions,
no
yeah.
interruptions.
Yeah.
And depending on the type of game, you can do that for Minecraft. And it's like, okay, it's an open world game, do what you want, it's Minecraft. But then you can also do that for, say, Phoenix Wright or another visual
That's
novel.
so
Last
weird
of Us
though, because
2.
it's
Yeah.
it's like if
I did it on.
if I went out tomorrow and I uploaded my copy of The Fast and the Furious to YouTube, it would rightfully get taken down. But if I went and uploaded my entire playthrough of Hitman 3 and cut out everything I said, is that not the same thing? Is it different because I can interact with
because you interact with it? It's again, it goes back to where do you draw the line as what is interactive or not? Because you can upload a visual novel, which is mashing a button to basically turn a page of a book.
yeah.
Is that piracy?
Internet's weird, man.
Internet's
Visual novel. It depends on how interactive. Like if you've got a game where it literally is like
That's just
reading
the
a
thing.
book.
It doesn't.
or something
Just
like
because it's a video game, it's almost exempt under current rules, right?
Yeah.
yeah, and you could argue that like Phoenix Wright has puzzle sections, right? But you could get to a part of the game / video where it's like, okay, now solve the puzzle, whatever. You could pause the video and solve the puzzle and then carry on.
I just think I think there's gonna come a point where all this changes, because I don't think companies are gonna let people get away with this as they have so far. You know, like that kind of upload the entire game, don't say a word, watch it like you would a movie. I think it's like I can see at some point like Microsoft or Activision, whoever, being like, hold on, I don't think I'm okay with this. I would like some compensation for this millions of views you just got off of that. Yeah.
How does that make you feel, Mr. Streamer?
Well, that's what. Yeah,
Do you
that's what I
remember
was.
Forza had streamer mode for its music?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's a good point.
It's
yeah.
a thing.
That
It's
radio
a thing
was
people
awful.
are thinking about, but it had to be.
We watched the streamer-friendly reveal of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Oh yeah,
and it was
because of the
rubbish.
music.
We were watching it like, this is weird, and then I went and watched the trailer back on the off stream with the actual licensed music, and I was like, this is such a better trailer with the actual soundtrack playing.
Yeah, it's like you say. I don't know if it will. Has it gone too far? Can you shut down what is essentially the streaming industry and YouTube industry at this point when you've let it get this big?
Yeah, I don't know.
I also think that streaming a game has like benefits of like advertising your game. Like because there's been many a game where I've been like, I'm not interested in that. You watch someone, you're like, for 5 minutes, and you're like, oh, that actually looks interesting. I want to play that.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's too much benefit, and they would get too much backlash if they like push against it too much.
We're going around in circles, so I'm going to cut this off.
There's too many.
There's too many moving parts, but I like this conversation. It's a good discussion.
It's fun.
It's just too hard to work out. But that was that news story. I'm glad we got that out of this one tweet. That was.
I saw someone post that in the Discord doc, and I was like, who? But I'm glad, I'm glad we went into that. Yeah, that was fun.
Right, I'm going to close this tab and reveal what's next, because I can't remember what was next on the docket. Oh yeah, the big one. Sony have Bungie now for $3.6 billion.
Guys, could you all stop doing your massive business deals the day or so after we release a podcast? So our take is like super out of date
tomorrow's going to be lit. I wonder what's going to get announced tomorrow.
Well, that was the big. I don't know if we want to jump the gun here, but that was a part of the this announcement. Was Sony was like, we're gonna buy more. We're gonna keep going with this.
Oh yeah, the big boy pants are on. Like, you're gonna buy shit. Okay, we're gonna buy shit too.
Like I said, this deal was apparently in the works for 5 months.
Yes.
So it looks like it's a reaction.
I love.
I did.
I like the reactionary part of it is so funny to my head, because they're like, like Microsoft buy Activision or whatever, and Blizzard for $70 billion. They're like, oh, okay, fine, we'll just buy Bungie for 3.6.
Like, who's the head of Sony's like sat behind his desk, and he opens up a little lockbox next to him, and it's got a big stack of billions of dollars in it. And he's like, how much have I got spare here? And who's going on the market?
Give this to Bungie.
Someone call Bungie. What are they up to?
It's how it looks, right? It's unfortunately it's how it looks.
I think I said it the other day. Is like, it's really unfortunate timing, but this is like this would be the biggest news story a week ago, or 2 weeks ago when this got announced. But coming off the heels of this Activision acquisition is like, that's cute. That's nice.
Look at you with your cute little 3.6 billion.
I reckon it could have been like that. They kind of knew Microsoft was buying Activision, and were like, "Oh shit, we need to buy stuff like 5." It could have been like reactionary. We don't know.
They probably knew. Yeah.
I would say the opposite. I'd say
that the other way round. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of these stuffs are probably kept very secret. You can't let shit.
A week after, that's
It's just 100% in my mind. It's just coincidental timing. It's just like,
or it's like as deals get closer to be done, they're more likely to be found out. So it's like, imagine if this Sony deal gets found out, so Microsoft are like, right, let's get our deal done now.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's the stuff about
it's all about image.
They came out, like, what was it, like an hour before Microsoft announced they were buying Activision Blizzard. Like an hour before they officially got announced, sources were coming out and saying, like, this might be happening. And then, like, an hour later, it happened.
Yeah.
So,
how do people feel about this Sony buying Bungie?
My biggest...
Is that a good deal? Who wins here?
My main thought after this, which I didn't have with the other two, being Activision Blizzard and Bethesda, my first thought was, are Bungie worth 3.6 billion?
This is Bungie's last chance, right?
Well, they've had a couple of last chances at this point.
Bungie is bouncing all over the place, ironically.
They were Microsoft for a while, then they left Microsoft,
Activision.
but they left Halo behind.
Said they were going independent.
Yeah, then they joined
immediately
Activision.
Jumped on board with Activision. Then left Activision, said they were going independent, and then almost immediately got into bed with Sony instead.
Yeah.
I've heard a take online being so I can't remember where I heard it, but someone saying like it's not the IPs that that's the impressive part. It's like the talent, because these are the people who made the original Halos. They've done Destiny, and Destiny is apparently doing really well. Like
Destiny is still massive. Yeah.
Destiny is the live service example, where it's like maybe it's not the best, quote unquote, in our opinions of like actual gameplay or whatever, but like from what I understand, it retains so many players and so many people play Destiny and Destiny 2
care about
it. Yeah, it's like that's because Sony also announced this week that they've got like, I think it was like 11 or 12 live service games coming out by 2024.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that's not something Sony does, right? Is multiplayer live service games. You think of Sony, you think of their Uncharted, Spider-Man, the other big one,
God of War.
Thank you. big cinematic single player experiences, and they don't really do multiplayer stuff. So
your live services are Activision, EA.
Turns out
Bungie.
Yeah, turns out the Halo killer was just buy Halo.
You just buy Halo.
You just buy. Yeah.
Well, it seems to be, we are currently at the state of the industry where it's, if big company doesn't know how to do something, you just buy other company that can already do it. It's just don't know how I feel about it, but
in my mind, like there's all these other smaller companies, but my mind is like, I wonder if Nintendo are going to buy anyone, or if Nintendo will be bought by anyone, because
no, I don't think so.
It's another thing, like when we were comparing PS5 to Switch, I think Nintendo are just in a completely different section of the industry.
The Japanese industry, games industry, they don't really like absorb and buy other companies. They do a lot more mergers, I think.
Japanese, right?
What was Japanese? Sorry.
Sony.
They are. Yeah, you've got Sony of Japan, but you also have Sony of Europe, Sony of America.
But I'm just like, if Nintendo could maybe like work with a different company to like do their hardware, I'm like, please, let me get some good looking games.
I think Nintendo is just an outlier. I think whatever happens in the rest of the industry, Nintendo is going to keep chugging along like a little mini,
will
just
succeed
doing their
in
thing.
their own area.
Yeah, and they'll just keep doing their thing. Yeah.
But in terms of like Japanese companies buying other Japanese companies, they don't do that. They merge.
Yeah.
You have like Square and Enix making Square Enix.
Yeah.
You have Bandai Namco. It's just, I can't remember the last time I heard of a Japanese game studio or company absorbing another one. I don't know if that's
although we say that, but Microsoft just bought Activision for what, 69 billion? 70 billion?
Something cool like that, yeah.
This website I've just clicked on reckons Nintendo's only got 55 billion market cap. So maybe
there's two companies.
I mean, they would never sell.
There's two companies I don't see ever getting absorbed. Are Nintendo and Square Enix. I don't see it happening.
Really? Because I think Sony could snap up Square Enix if they're looking for more
Yeah, I think Square could
more
be bought.
become more studios. Yeah, yeah. I think that makes perfect sense with how much like those guys sort of seem to work together. You know.
Yeah, you associate
I
them
think-
already.
You
Yeah, but
associate
that used to
mainline.
be- It used to be how
Yeah,
that is.
it's not anymore.
Nowadays. It's not. Yeah.
All the
That's
Final
been a
Fantasies are
lot
on
more
Game
strained.
Pass. You've got a whole bunch of like Nintendo 3DS and Switch.
Isn't the
games.
next Final Fantasy a PS exclusive, or at least timed exclusive? or
timed
something?
exclusive PC later?
Oh, so it's on console. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's. I think it might be console exclusive, full stop. But then on PC later. Question
I
mark.
Yeah.
remember when Kingdom Hearts came to Xbox, and I was like, "This is the end."
Back when
This is
that was
the
breaking
end.
news. Now people are
Well,
buying each other
so-
for billions.
So my thing here, I put a little note on it, and I said, you know, Sony looks like they're going to keep buying people, and I think we're at this part where people are buying. This industry is going to get divided up, really weirdly over the next couple of years. So who gets bought next was my big question.
They're forcing
Who
a
do
console
we
wars
think?
again.
Yes. To war, brothers.
No, I don't want that. Companies like to get bought up. As I said, I strongly don't think.
I'll throw some names out there. We got EA, we got Take-Two, Bandai Namco, Ubisoft, Konami, Square Enix, Capcom,
Konami's not going anywhere. I don't think they care
CD
enough.
Projekt, Sega.
Sega is another one that I don't think will get bought up.
Mhm.
I think they'll just exist. I think I think a likely one could be something like CD Projekt Red.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that getting bought by like Sony, where it's like it's not a massive studio, but it's like, you know,
Well, it was prestigious, maybe not so much these days.
like I always stand by that. People don't go out of their way to make bad games, right? It's normally management or time constraints or something, and over promising from upper management. You know, because you got the guys out there saying Cyberpunk will be this and that.
But they did make a bad game.
They did make a bad game, but I don't think they set out to make a bad game. Obviously,
Oh no.
I think yeah. I'm
Capcom. Sony buys Capcom.
I hope not.
What do you care? You have all the consoles, don't you?
I just
You'll only win out of this.
oh yeah, I'd like ultimately I'll be able to play whatever happens. I just don't really want anyone to buy anyone. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
But I think if it's a Japanese company, I can't see them getting gobbled up as easy as American and European companies. I think they're a lot more. I'm not sure if it's like a country thing. Cultural, that's the word, yeah.
Yeah.
Where they don't just like, oh yeah, we'll get bought by Microsoft, who cares? It's like, I think it's a bit different.
Well, I like what you said about the CD Projekt Red, because I'm like, maybe not like the bigger companies that are kind of doing okay. It's the companies that you're like, oh, they might be struggling. If they get a little bit of help, maybe they could get back to like a place where they were, like CD Projekt Red, like maybe some smaller struggling ones that, you know, could use that like assistance and get like release some good quality.
Sony buys Sega, and finally we'll get the Sonic game everybody wants.
The Sonic 2006 remake.
Oh my god.
We made the
Oh my
resolution
God.
worse.
People would buy it too, you know? Yes, and they just make it worse.
They make it
That's
worse.
So funny.
We removed Sonic.
Oh my god.
But his hitbox is still there. You have to just play as an invisible
Sega,
character.
if you're listening, there's a fucking golden idea for
Yeah,
free.
Sega, if you're
Remaster
Sega, if you're
2006,
listening,
make it worse.
Sega, if you're listening, don't call me. I don't care. I will screen your call.
That's really fun.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red, I think is a really good shout, because they haven't had a financial failure, right? Unless you count their stock going down to be a financial failure, which I guess it is. Cyberpunk, for better or for worse, sold millions and millions and millions of copies. So, a lot of which were refunded, but probably only like a tiny percentage.
Oh, that's true. They've got bad blood with Sony, right? Because they delisted Cyberpunk for 4 months.
Yeah, but that's like Microsoft being like, we do not approve of Blizzard
No, I
being
like
shit.
the idea.
And then they buy them.
I like the idea of all these deals going down like a schoolyard where
Yeah.
I don't want to buy CD Projekt Red. They kicked sand in my face earlier.
It's
Oh,
just
no.
it's just the Thanos like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
It's like, sort yourself out. We don't want to. Okay, purchase you. Now we're going to sort you out because I own you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
What else we got? You got moving on. It Takes Two, being a film / television series. I thought that was very interesting. I don't have any stake in
Yeah.
that because I haven't really played it. But
Oh, I finished it, so I'm like, oh yeah, that could be a good TV series or movie.
what do you
It's just-
what do you do? Do you just retell the game's story as a TV show?
You go to watch it with your significant other, and you come out and you like each other slightly less afterwards. That's the.
I think it's like it's just a sweet story that could be done well, you know.
Yeah.
They won't grab the
It makes
essence of the game, in my opinion. But
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I played that game because it was a great series of little co-op puzzles and gameplay and challenges with my partner. I did not come away from that like, boy, I wish I had more story development there.
Yeah.
That was easily the weakest
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
Well,
It might just-
my brain just went to they've got to just retell the game story, right? Condense it into a 2-hour film.
Except
Yeah,
it's
it's gotta
The
be a
Rock
film.
and Jennifer Lawrence are the two, and what's his name? Taika Waititi is the book, and that's
Yeah,
there you go.
oh,
the man is played by Chris Pratt, and the woman is played by Chris Pratt.
That's not fair. You can't just drop Chris Pratt every time a movie gets referenced.
and the elephant is Jack Black.
In my head, I'm like, I'm gonna make it into a psychological horror, like make it like dark. Like,
Jesus.
oh shit, they could die. They ain't trying to get their marriage back together. They're just trying to survive.
Yeah, oops, we died. No, yeah, I just wanted to throw. It's not a lot to talk about, but I thought that was quite cool because
That's fun.
Yeah.
I'm
You all
glad.
played that.
I'm glad that guy's getting to live out his family. What's his name? Joseph something.
we'll
Getting to do whatever he wants.
we'll power through the last few because they're not really overly important. You've got a few World of Warcraft bits. You've got a Warcraft mobile game and cross-faction stuff all over
that's
World of Warcraft.
see, this is a weird one where I'm like, this is big in two different ways.
Yeah.
Is this a step forward in the right direction, or has the sales got so bad?
Is it the panic button?
My
Is it the panic button?
my brain, as soon as I read that, the first thing my brain went to was population's crashing. Like,
Yes.
whether or not it is or not, I have no clue. But that's just where my head goes to. After so much bad press for World of Warcraft now, my brain goes to they need to combine all the players because there's not enough people to do raids comfortably.
Yeah.
So
And then
No,
the other part of my
I
brain
think. Go on.
just went, I don't care anymore. I've dropped it.
That's largely was my reaction. Was what great news that would have been 2 years ago when I still liked WoW. 4 years ago when I was playing whatever expansion was out there.
yeah,
I think it's like it could be. It's a panic button move. I think it's also for the longest time that game struggles with a kind of faction.
that's the best part.
What's the word? Like balancing act
Animosity.
where
yeah.
a server will start to tip one way or the other in terms of Horde or Alliance, and everybody on the smaller side starts having a worse experience and just thinks, I'll just move to a server where I have the majority.
Yeah.
And that was they introduced battle groups to try and stop that. And I don't honestly don't know what the state of it is at the moment, but like I have played on servers where I'm in the majority and the minority, and I can tell you it's a wildly different experience
What
if you get stuck on either way.
What makes me think more than anything else that it's a it's not power, sorry, panic button press, is the fact that it's just almost kind of just dumped out there, and it's not like there's no lore or expansion tied to it, or like
That's the funny part for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep writing these scenarios where you end up working together by the end of the expansion.
yeah.
for whatever
What was the
world-threatening
one
thing
something for
happens.
Azeroth, the expansion, wherever
Battle for
Yeah.
Azeroth.
Battle for Azeroth was the big one that was hyped up as the story where the Alliance and Horde kind of get together and do some bits together. And
Well,
I was-
no, that was hyped up as the one where they break apart because it made no sense anymore that they were still They were still technically
Yeah.
fighting because they had teamed up so many times in
Yeah,
the previous
Every
bunch of
expansion
expansions.
they get
Yeah.
together, team up against the big bad. It's literally every expansion.
Yeah,
but,
it is. Yeah,
but in my head, if you're doing something like this and it's not panic button, You do a whole expansion based around it. You do a bunch of pre-patches of people shaking hands and getting together, and then you launch it with a new expansion and be like, "There's no more. There is still Alliance and Horde, but you can now chill out together." And it's fine. It's finally done. But this is just like, it's a tweet of, it's happening. Horde can play with Alliance in raids.
Yeah, because I think with like WoW, part of the fun is you have the other faction to hate on. Like one part of WoW that I always hated was when there was like same faction PvP. And I was like, well, no, I don't want to be fighting my friends in the Alliance. I want an enemy to hate on. And if I see like a Horde attacking an Alliance, I'm like, no, you stop killing my buddy. I don't know him, but he's picked the right faction. You know.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is it sucks if all of my friends are orcs and trolls and I want to play a night elf.
Yeah. I remember when our house collectively decided to be Alliance, and I was like, fuck. All right, I'm going to have to come to terms with this.
Well,
I fucking hate all of those races.
I'm the exact opposite, where everyone we played with on Discord is all Horde. And it's all Horde. And I'm like, I kind of prefer Alliance.
You're a psychopath.
I'll play Horde, because that's where everyone is.
Objectively superior faction.
Where's the fucking kick button? How do I kick you from this door?
But it sucks that like you have to make that decision within your friend group, and that is a big barrier to overcome for some people. If you don't enjoy the character you're playing, like you're not going to stick around.
Especially in an MMO, right? I got to look at this guy for thousands of hours.
Yeah.
If I don't like him, what is even the point?
Well, it's a character insert for the most part. You are the character. You spend like an MMO. I think FF7, FF14. I have like hundreds of hours played, and I have I think like 3 what they call potions of Fantasia or whatever to change your character's looks, and I can't do it because it's like. This is my guy. This is my guy.
I am the sexy cat boy.
I am the warrior of light.
I'm not changing. Yeah.
FF14 does particularly well where you just played the one character, whereas like WoW, I've got like for Battle for Azeroth, I have like 40 of every 40 max level toons because I was like, well, I want one of each just in case for Shadowlands. The Covenants are actually fun, and there was nothing to do in Battle for Azeroth.
Does anyone else? Whenever WoW comes up now, it's like, it's fun to meme on, everyone's jumping ship and stuff. It's sad. But it genuinely depresses me because I have such fond memories of WoW and its
I think
heyday.
That's everyone's take.
Well, you can
I love this
revisit those memories and make new ones in the unannounced mobile game for Warcraft coming in 2022. Look forward to that.
Again, what a great news story that would have been to read 4 years ago when I really liked WoW.
Do you guys not have mobiles?
No, not really.
PlayStation and Discord are working together. Is that an acquisition?
No,
no, I don't mean right now, but like in the future.
Oh no, I don't think so.
It's just you can now use Discord on your PlayStation. You can I see people on my friends list now being like, oh, they're playing like Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, it's different. It's not Discord on PlayStation. Yeah. Like I can't be on PlayStation and join a group chat or a call. I'm pretty sure as of right now, it's just integration to show that what you're playing on PlayStation on Discord. So in a few weeks, when I'm hunkering down and abandoning civilization for a week, it will just say that I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West.
That's it.
That's it. As of right now.
That is well shit. Come on, Sony, what are you doing?
I think something smells fucky. I think I got a feeling. I got a tingle.
There's 2 ways this goes, right? Is something weird is happening. Or this is the good first step for Sony. They need something.
I have no evidence or anything to back it up, but it just feels like Sony going to be like, yeah, we have Discord. We're not changing it. We're not doing anything with it.
No, I don't think this makes sense for Sony.
I mean, they bought Bungie for 3.6 million. Doesn't make sense.
No, you can make that make sense.
You can make that. Yeah.
Here's the thing. If they manage to get like PlayStation streaming to Discord working and being able to join group chats, if this is the start of something, then this could be really good. I don't know where it goes, and they aren't exactly giving us.
Or the microphone on my DualSense controller, which is the PS5 controller, is really good. It's a little built-in mic just in the controller, so it's not it's not flawless. But if I could,
enough Call of Duty lobbies
it's if I could be
the state of controller mics.
If I could be playing Guilty Gear or Elden Ring on PS5, and then hop into Discord and be like, sup, how you guys all doing? I'm gonna chat with you, and then you can already Twitch stream directly from a PlayStation. Maybe you could do a Discord stream from your PlayStation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's potential.
There's stuff you could do, and I think that would be a really valuable get. I think Discord is worth a lot more than people realize. It is the gaming hub for
100%,
social. Yeah,
I don't think it's a viable thing.
It's like I said, I have no evidence.
No,
but
it's going to be a great partnership if it's done well.
Yeah.
For Sony. Sony.
It feels like a headline, like Sony buys Discord for 800 million or whatever. Discord might be worth way more than that. I don't really know, but so that was a random little bit. I synced mine up, so mine all connects now. So you should see me playing stuff.
I like the little picture where it's just like the little avatars like being like, "Hi, we're friends now."
Oh, the Astrobot.
Yeah.
And this pig thing with leaf on head.
I was gonna say that's funny because that's two mascots that I don't know either of them.
Astrobot is great.
Yeah.
It's a free game that comes
it's
with
not
PlayStation.
Ratchet anymore. It should have been Ratchet.
Did they buy Insomniac? I think they did, right?
Who knows now?
I think Sony bought
No, isn't
Insomniac.
I don't know.
Hang on, really quick. Sony buys Insomniac.
Yes, PlayStation Studios.
February, February 2020. Sony
okay.
purchased Insomniac for 220. That's a bargain. They make great stuff. Back before everything was billions.
Did they make great stuff?
Insomniac
make great
Insomniac fuming.
Or Insomniac made fucking Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank and everything.
Yeah.
They make brilliant stuff. They make Infamous, another great.
What have they made?
Okay, all right. Now you're
Spider-Man.
Josh.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, they made.
Okay.
Ratchet and Clank was literally last year, and Spider-Man was the year before.
Oh, so you just said those two things at me, and I assumed you meant they
Really?
made
Sam,
games.
Spider-Man.
No, the newest thing was Ratchet and Clank on PS5, and I played that, and it was brilliant. So they're still making great stuff.
You know what tripped me up? Because you said, did Sony buy them? And I was like, yeah, 100. Yes, they did. And then I was like, but Sunset Overdrive came out 30 years ago, and that was an Xbox One exclusive. And I don't know why I got so focused on that.
This is more like a joke update because it's so terrible, but I'm just gonna go through this really quickly. It's the upcoming updates for Battlefield 2042 or whatever it's called.
Oh yes, the internet punching bag of the year.
We're adding a scoreboard and voice communication. Please look forward to that in March. There's nothing to say here. If you're playing it, I hope you're enjoying it. I'm not going to shit on you if you enjoy it, but I
will. You're an idiot. Play something better. Come play Hunt with us. We'll teach you.
It is the current. This is the current punching bag of the FPS genre. It's
fun as well, isn't it? Because it's so easy.
It's
they did it to themselves. Yeah.
It makes me think is Battlefield this new one, because they're always like it comes out and it's kind of shit, and they're like, oh, it's okay, they'll fix it later. Is this one beyond repair? Is this like abandoned stage where it's like actually?
No, I don't think they can abandon it. But also, I think there's design choices there that are not easily fixable. Yeah. I think even after all the bugs and all the fun, wacky physics and stuff, the hit reg, whatever, after all that has been fixed, I still think you're stuck with not a very fun game.
Yeah.
And I don't after a complete overhaul, but then it's like sort of admitting that they were completely off base in this one, so I don't know if they'll do that. I don't know. It's sad because some of my fondest memories are from playing like Battlefield 2142. DICE, if you're out there and you want an easy win, just remaster that and I'll come back. But yeah, it's sad that that's gone so far downhill, but also it's kind of like a big, we fucking told you so. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Jesus.
They had so much feedback, and didn't they say like in response to like the beta or alpha or something that released, that was obviously like, it's not beta or alpha, it's the fucking game. It's like a month out of launch.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's fine. These are design decisions we've made deliberately, and we think you'll enjoy them. It's like, but no, but we don't enjoy them.
Yeah, it's always great when like a studio head comes out and goes, "No, you just don't understand the game yet," and it's I always think like, okay, sure.
We've sent out this alpha and beta for you to play, so we can get your feedback, and we have got your feedback and decided to ignore
We're
it.
going to ignore it. Yeah.
Thank you for playing the game. Yeah, nothing to add here really, but I just
It's fun.
what else we got? You've got that's Minecraft Rock. What are you doing there? Last quick one. This is the last one. Nothing really to add. But
GTA 6.
GTA 6 essentially announced. I was talking to Laura, my partner, about this a while ago, where it's like we talked about it years ago, I think, where it's like GTA 6 is being made. That's like, there's no way it's not being made, right? These games take what, like a decade to make because they're so intricate and have so much stuff. And people are like, "Where's GTA 6? Where's this? Where's that?" It's like they're not like sitting on their thumbs. They're always like working towards it in some capacity.
Are we, because of all the stuff that's come out, like the continued support for GTA 5 Online and stuff, are we like due another one? Is that why people are riled up, or is this just what's like the time gap?
I don't really know. I mean,
let's see. 4 was 2008. 5 was 2013. So
it's been a long time. I played GTA 5 on PS3.
Wow.
Like think about that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because it was big news when it was remade on PS4.
My only thought is like, at the moment GTA is very big, but I think because of GTA RP. So I'm wondering, like, will they maybe get some feedback from the community members who do that? Because that is like big at the moment, like especially on Twitch viewing.
Yeah,
is all the streamers RPing on that server and whatnot. So I'm wondering if they're like really make sure that the online for GTA 6 is like top notch for that reason, because that's where like the viewership is at the moment. It's the RP part.
Well, I think they'll do it because that's the part that has made them the infinite amounts of money. I don't know if they'll necessarily be catering to a specific.
I don't think you go out of your way to make like an RP version of the next GTA Online. Yeah. I think you just have a GTA Online that is so elaborate that you can just do those things anyway if you want to, because a lot of GTA RP is modded in, right?
Yeah,
it's like elaborate systems and this, that, and the other. It's like, do you just have those as options anyway in GTA Online 2 that you can just ignore if you don't want to
have it like easily moddable?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think like you say, in some capacity you can't really ignore it because it has been so massive. But I don't see them making an RP version of it. I see them just somehow, maybe not as in depth as GTA 5 RP is, but like enough that people can do it.
It's a slightly better platform for modding, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, like you have
we put the key under the mat for making the mods easier. Oops. Oh well.
Isn't that an interesting story though? Because at the start, GTA was like, or Rockstar was going after people who were making single player mods to their game.
Yeah.
Right?
I believe so, yeah.
Am I crazy on that? Yeah, I feel like I read a bunch of stories about that when GTA 5 came out on PC.
Is that all the shit where you can like play you play as Iron Man and
you play as Iron Man? Yeah.
You have the DeLorean.
So yeah, it's interesting now that it's like this is the game, the thing that everyone's playing now is GTA RP.
Does anyone here know what Rockstar are like towards GTA RP? Are they completely cool with it?
No clue, sorry.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that they just they let it happen.
Yeah, because wasn't there a big thing about how one of the servers or something were making like a lot of money?
Yeah,
and they were like, nah, stop that. Maybe. This is a bit beyond what I know, but I think I had that at some point.
I don't know anything about GTA RP.
But yeah, GTA 6 has basically been, it's been shadow announced. It's the kind of announcement where the teacher's like, "Have you started your project?" And you're like, "Yeah, I've definitely started it. Here's a."
You guys excited for a GTA 6?
I'm 100% excited. I think GTAs are the games that push forward, the technicality of open world games. I'm very excited to see what they do. I don't think they'll just remake GTA 5 and slap a 6 on it. I think they'll do some really cool stuff. I remember when GTA 5 was announced, and it was like GTA 5 when it was announced was like jaw dropping. It looked so nice at the time.
Yeah.
I'll play if there is a campaign. I'll play the campaign. I'll dabble in the online like I did with this one. But either way, I'm really excited.
Question: is GTA Sony exclusive? Like, because you will talk about the RP, but that's only on PC. Do you think they'll maybe like rush out the PC version, or more focus on the PC version because of that?
I think
because normally it's way later as PC.
I think you'll see exactly the same. I reckon it'll be console first, PC later, and the PC version will boast NVIDIA 5000 series ray tracing features and shit. That's I can see it. Yeah. That's how it's been every single time, I think, since like number 4.
I'd really like to see GTA and Rockstar tech applied to a new
IP?
Like genre. Maybe not genre, just new setting, new sort of
fantasy setting.
We did cowboys, we've done modern day.
They haven't touched sci-fi.
Give me some sci-fi or some medieval.
Fantasy. Yeah, fantasy. Give us fantasy.
That'd be great. Final Fantasy 16 coming out, Steve.
Yeah, so give us RP. Give us driving.
Just go download VR chat and get it out your system.
I do not have a VR.
You do not need a VR headset to play a VR chat.
Still, I know I'd want one. If you're gonna do it, you might as well go all in.
Yeah, might as well spend £1,000 on a headset and what they call lighthouse stations, whatever, just so people can see you break dance while you play VR chat. Actually, I'd pay the £1,000 for you if you learn how to break dance and do it as a cute anime girl.
Yeah, money on delivery if I ever see Steve breakdancing in VR chat.
Yeah, you learn how to VR chat. Make a VR chat model of your
learn how to talk to people.
I do want a VTuber model, so that would be like I'd have one available.
Yeah, make a really scuffed one.
You'll see me twerking at some point.
Oh, I fucking hope not.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it twerking. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey.
That's the end of my news stories. Anybody else have anything else you want to talk about, or is that? I'm happy to.
Just Lost Ark is out in 2 days, and I'm super excited for it.
Well, you could talk about it next week.
Coming out next week.
Post in the comments what you think The Rock's movie is going to be.
The Fast and Furious.
That's a good point. Yeah, I got no Twitter pictures of what's his name? Fuck, Vin Diesel. I got no Vin Diesel Twitter pictures. So
I sent you one.
Yeah, well, apart from all 3 of you, yeah.
I'll make
quite what I was going for.
I'll set up bots to
rank the Twitter pictures. Who had the best one?
Yeah, so for this,
I'd have to scroll back down my Twitter feed.
For this week, send Will your best pictures of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And
I don't mind that.
Basically, if you listening now, if you send him one, you're probably going to win because you'll be the only person to do it. So
yes, you will probably win by default.
Yeah, and I will open the next podcast with that image of Dwayne "The Rock"
Johnson. We're writing
Johnson.
A lot of checks here.
I will come to your house. I will come to your house and get a signed picture of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Costume.
In my rock costume, yeah, it's a big boulder.
It's just Josh covered in baby oil. Is there games coming out next week? Anyone's excited? What are we going to be talking about next podcast?
I had a quick look. Yeah, there's Lost Ark. I think there's Ollie World.
It's supposed to be good.
And it was saying SIFU, but if that came out already, I'm not sure if that's about.
I'm gonna more Arceus for me probably.
It's the next few weeks that are the more interesting, where we've got like Guild Wars 2 expansion, Elden Ring, Total War Warhammer,
Horizon,
all of them. Horizon, yeah.
Yes, so good stuff coming out.
But
sure.
wow, so next week's gonna be like dead. Because I haven't got anything planned for next week.
We'll have to talk about I don't know, politics.
We'll find some fucking NFT story again, won't we?
We'll still spend an hour and a half talking about what we played, no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah, I
So
suppose.
about it.
All right, let's
Oh,
all sign
well.
off. Let's all sign off. I'm actually active on Twitter again now, so follow me at BottlerWorks.
Josh has been shit posting his little heart.
I've been shit posting like moderately, but follow me on there. Who else wants to shout out their stuff quick?
I'm Quikwix and everything, and I've never been off Twitter, so I'm active sometimes, maybe.
Yep. Will.
I'm Olive_Meister. The underscore is key. People have been sniping that for months, and I'm really annoyed that I can't get my fucking name anywhere. There you go. You
were too slow. And Sam's invisible.
Yeah, you can't find me.
Okay, that's everything. I have to. We're doing an official goodbye this time because one of the comments last time was that it just ended and they were confused. So
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
bye.
Shout out
Bye,
to that
everybody.
person. See you later, people.